Those faces in the morning are the best faces around.
So absolutely wonderful and shiny and happy.
And then they turn into this. Oh no, bring animated us back.
Yeah, I know, right? What happened? Well, you look phenomenal as always, my friend, and it's wonderful to see your smiling face this morning, Mick.
That's because I'm farther from the camera than you are. So you're judging it based on that. Like if I was closer, you'd be like imperfections everywhere.
See, and this is why I used to keep the actual little screen for the mic up so that way I could cover the better part of my face. I had a ninja effect going on.
You know, it's so weird because like you will dress like an old homeless woman sometimes.
Yes, absolutely. A babushka is what I like
And
to
then
call
you'll
it.
turn but then you'll turn it around and you'll look like you belong in an Abercrombie Fish ad. And I hate you. Because it's literally, it's not even like oh, I gotta go get cleaned up. It's like you take off the head dressing and you take off like the sweater and it's like I'm gonna step out into the day and it's like, okay, Clark Kent, calm down.
Well,
so
thank you,
annoying.
buddy. It does. Sometimes it feels good like that, but then there's other times where, like right now, I have so much junk on my face. This is my attempt again at growing it out to see where I'm at, and
That's
I'm like,
fair.
all right, let's give it, another month and see where I'm at. And once again, disappointment.
It's
It's
winter.
just
Like our I don't
man
know if you're allowed to
jeans,
say anymore. I don't even know if you're allowed to say that anymore.
testosterone. To be
Let's just say
scientific,
that. Let's
yeah.
whatever. Our testosterone and like allows us to I think it's like a biological imperative for us to grow more hair during the winter.
It is. It is. In fact, that's exactly how it
Yeah,
works.
that's why I have a
what-
scientist here at Alpha. You guys didn't know. Casey has a PhD in science.
In what the fuckery.
All
Yes,
of it.
it is.
All of it.
All the sciences. I actually have every scientific PhD. That's correct.
It's a blanket opportunity.
And it only took me 3 weeks to get them. It's a fantastic opportunity. Call me if you'd like to know more.
Listen, I have a bachelor's of science degree, 4-year degree, and I got it in 21 months. So
see,
don't
it's
BS
doable.
yourself. I love it when I tell people, like, "Oh, what'd you go to school for?" Film. That's it. It stops. Like right, and when any sentence stops with film, you're kind of like, "Oh, all right, good luck, dude."
Have you considered saying cinema? Just to like really add that little extra layer. Like what'd you get your degree in? Cinema. Yeah, like you can really just throw that down.
If there was ever a way to make film school more pretentious, it would be to call it cinema. I think you've hit the nail on the head on that one.
I attended cinema school, in fact.
I learned how to create for the cinema.
Yes, I'm of the more high-end folk, not those film school children. I attended Full Sail, a school for cinema.
I see. I started a different school that I graduated from because Full Sail. It's so funny when I hear people, because there's a lot of people go there now, especially since Dan Patrick opened up his portion of the school there,
WWE.
and a few other people. Yeah, because and WWE being there and stuff like that. So it's like more well known and renowned now. When I started there, they were already in their like 20th year. And it was called Full Sail Real World Education. That was the name of the school.
Wow.
And then by the end, I graduated, thank God, it says on my diploma, Full Sail University. You know, so I could tell people I went to FSU, the other one.
Right.
So, but yeah.
You're not a Seminole. What is your team's mascot?
The Recording Arts people.
Ah, yes, the Full Sail Seabirds. Masters of Cinema.
These the Full Sail Albertsons parking lots.
I was part of the adjuncted school that was part of the Piggly Wiggly branch. That
if there was ever a school that was just literally filled, because it wasn't just film school. They had recording arts, they had gaming, and I think those were like the big three at the time. I don't know. They have more now. And I think they had more then, but I wasn't really paying attention. So you have all, those are the big three. And like the gaming kids, like you would get like 130 kids in one class, right? Like in one thing. And they would be, by the end, like maybe like 6 kids graduating.
Because they're all stressed out. All the other ones had heart attacks or strokes from the Mountain Dew and Red Bull that they probably put in their systems.
It was so rad though, because we would go hang out in the gaming building, because every time they made a game, they would make an arcade game out of it.
Nice.
Because they were learning how to do all that stuff. So, and you could go and play for free. They had an arcade in the front of the gaming building, so that way, like you can go test out all the games that are being made.
Holy cow! See, okay, that would have been pretty incredible. Yeah.
Oh, it was rad, man. And like I would go in there a lot and just play. There's one game called Tornado. It's an app on the phone now. You absolutely know it is. I've seen it, and I hope that kid who made it made billions. But it was basically you play as the tornado and you tear things up.
Awesome.
I was like, oh man, this is weird, but I kind of dig it. Like, you know how like you're more accepting of like games like that because it's a game school.
Well, yeah, of course. When you actually know the person who made anything, you're going to enjoy it more.
Oh, I didn't talk to film geeks or the film geeks, the game geeks.
I mean, game geeks are weird, and not to mention you're the cinema team. Why would you lower yourself to possibly converse with those video game nerds?
I make it sound like we were the film students, we were the jocks of the school. First off, recording arts are probably the coolest ones.
Really?
Secondly, yeah, I mean, because they're learning how to produce music.
So you've got a Rick Ross in there. You got a few. Yeah.
And they were always like very cool to hang out with. And I'm joking about the game geeks. We love the game geeks, and we were the film geeks, so don't get mad about if you're a gamer.
And you're also, as a game geek, it's not like they didn't fight to the death. So you don't want to dishonor their memory. That's actually why there were so few of them left by the end. Well, that's how they got that far.
I'll tell you what, man. They didn't have time to talk to us. They really didn't. Because they were always busy. Like they're always going. No, man, that's why that arcade didn't have a lot of things, because there weren't a lot of people by those classes. I got my bad. But those were always like their final projects too. So it was very cool that they made like an arcade game out of those final projects.
It's fantastic to see that. I think that's a great final project. And that's the other thing about video game nerds. And I will, as one, we always go, oh man, I could put a video game together. That'd be great. And then you start doing it. And there's a whole lot of moving parts. So I absolutely understand a lot of people being like, you know what? I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. This is not what I thought it was going to be.
Because the dropout rate for the film school was fairly high for the percent. Like, so you would get at least 10 to 15% of a class leaving. Because it was intense. Like it's 21 months and you're going 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So it would get intense and like you'd see them leave. So like gaming, I mean, I couldn't deal with that.
Meanwhile, music, everyone's making a boatload of money. They couldn't be happier. They're loving what they do.
I hope so,
throwing the coolest parties, having fun, rubbing fuzzy walls and stuff.
It's just fuzzy dice everywhere.
Because
that's what I assume. Everywhere,
something fuzzy everywhere. Like just the cool guys, the most cool you can imagine.
Oh my
Everyone
God.
snaps their fingers and wears circle glasses and call everyone hip.
And we were in Orlando, so like they were roaming around Orlando, just saying, "I'm a music producer," and everybody's just like, "You're from Full Sail, aren't you?"
It's one of those things that when you're around it all the time, I'm pretty sure it gets to be the most annoying thing on earth.
I hate sound editing, so I have a big respect for sound editors and producers. It drives me nuts. Let's see what our morning.
Yes, but those are the respectful ones. You know, the ones who work in cinema.
You made it worse. Let's see what everybody's saying and doing up here. Oh, Sturdy, our black friend Sturdy.
Well, hi, Sturdy. Good morning.
Radar's here. What's up, Radar? How you doing, buddy?
Morning, Radar.
George G3. What is
George
up,
G3. Good morning.
Have you purchased said 5s of SP?
5 PS5s?
5 PS5s.
We keep up in that number.
This is Radar. Long story. I love it. I think you can change the name if you wanted to, pal. Good morning, SnobNation. Good morning,
Kathleen.
Thank you. And then it's the SnobNation talking to each other. So
As
like I have to skip down to the next one. So I have to leave at work. Leave for work at 8. Mick, I had a converse briefly. I have conversed briefly with Casey, and I needed to get that out. And
get mad at it. Get mad at
February to see a rodeo. I do want to see a rodeo. Seriously,
man, we need to go to a rodeo. I've been watching more Yellowstone again, and gosh, I just want to be a rodeo clown. I feel like that was my calling all this time.
You know what bugs me about that is like I'll watch it every week, Mary and I, and we love that show. And then she's like, "We should have bought a ranch," and I'm like, "What world? In what world do you think that's a good idea?"
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you're a cinema man. You're not going to dirty
That's
your
not
hands
going away anytime soon.
With that, oh no, that's here forever.
I'm a cinema man on a t-shirt. I went to cinema school.
These hands don't get dirty. I'm a cinema man.
I see it too. It's gonna be I am, and it's gonna be like the lights, and it looks like the marquee. Yes. It's gonna say cinema and then man.
Boom. Nailed it.
I'm a cinema man.
I am a cinema man.
Or I went to cinema school. I don't know.
I went to cinema school. I attended cinema university.
Yeah.
Or could you be I attended a Cinema University Academy College.
Cinema University Academy College. That's so much. I attended a cinema real world education.
Cinema University Academy College, the Quack. I went to the Quack. I'm a quack.
Oh my god. He started at Boner University. There was
he did. Boner.
There's like virtually no women at that school.
Oh man, he totally said boner.
We had 30 kids in our class, and we had like 6 women.
Sounds
and it was like a bunch of money. And and I thank God I came in older, more refined and smarter, not an idiot. I mean, I was an idiot. Don't get me wrong. I was
before pre-30, we're all pretty stupid.
I was so stupid. But Full Sail, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's like a bunch of monkeys trying to hump a doorknob.
Which is exciting to watch. I mean, I would get a hoot out of that.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous, people. John's here. Good morning. What's up? Good morning, buddy.
Morning, John.
And then everybody says hi to John. John says, the production types are unique class of nerd and geek. You get it, man. You're in the music world. I made 78 cents for music this year. Let's not talk about how much I spent to do that. That's fair. It's very fair. Mick is a cinema man, and I am a cinnamon roll.
And now I'm hungry for a cinnamon roll.
Now I'm hungry for a cinnamon.
Gosh, that sounds delicious.
You ruined it.
And we're only 14 minutes in.
Never tell me the time.
Never tell me the time.
Bryce is all set for Christmas, and I don't know what to get for my wife. A PS5.
A PS5.
I don't know. Take whatever she likes, put it on a sweatshirt, and get a pair of slippers with it.
Yep.
And like a nice, cute slippers, maybe Mama Bear slippers.
Oh, those
my
are
wife
has
fun. Those.
Yeah.
She loves that.
Or I don't give a slippers, right?
I swear to God, I married the same person both in life and in friendship work. Because Casey and my wife are the same fucking people. Man. They have the same advice for me. They say the same things on both ends, and it's like, God, what did I do?
You sent me that message, and I was so excited when we were talking about the show, and you're like, the notes are exactly the same from you and Mary. I was like,
exactly.
Yes.
And it was funny, and I'll tell you. So we switched. For anybody who doesn't know, we switched over. We had Geek Fest Live. We canceled that. That's over. We're doing a new show called Geeked Out Live, where we're just Mr. Gigglies hanging out, and you give us the topics in the comments. Whatever's going on in the geek world today, you throw it out. We'll talk about it.
We'll research and run with it right there live on the show. You get to drive the direction, and we'll just add the giggles.
I don't know if I'll research it, but I will definitely have an opinion. I'm an American.
Valid. I mean, why look at words on pages? Come on. What are we, some kind of cottonhead ninny muggins?
How dare you? This whole country was founded on words on a paper, and now we won't read any of them. And our biggest fight is over the words on the paper
that we won't read.
That'll be Geeked Out Live. It's just kind of a different format. So make sure to join in for that. That's Sunday nights at 8:30. Where are we going? I want to talk about Brittany Griner.
Yes.
It's such huge news right now. And thank God. And let's start. I know we both have the same feelings on it. And Casey, I'll let Casey say his piece, but thank God she's home.
Yep.
That's it. Thank God she's out of that hellscape that is Russia.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a lot of divisiveness in this area. Not that she's home. Like, everybody's so happy she's home. I mean, everybody with reasonable thought and actual hearts in their bodies are happy she's home.
Yeah, people aren't completely useless jackholes. Yeah. Sure.
And that's the thing. We should, as humanity, we should be pulling for everyone to be safe and and cared for and such. Mm-hmm. Maybe not the merchant of death, which is the guy that they had to trade. And like, come on, who's Russia gonna call for? If they have somebody to trade, that they're gonna call for somebody like the merchant. That's the big difference. That's to me the difference between America and hellscapes like Russia. And where no matter how you feel about America, no matter how divisive America is here, ultimately Americans are the ones who are like, yeah, and for lack of a better title, we want this woman back who was just there to play basketball. Mm-hmm. and based on our standards, didn't do anything wrong. Yep. And now I understand that you can't base it all on our standards because it's a different country. And we can get into that. And that's kind of where I'm alluding to. But to say, at least as Americans, we're like, give her back. Like, what are you doing? We know what you're doing. And we want her back to bring home and have her safe here. And you want the merchant of death for her. You want somebody who deserves that time. That tells us who you are versus who we are. And that was my point on that one. Now, the divisiveness being is like Paul Whalen's been in there. He was an ex-Marine that he's former Marine. I guess you're always a Marine actually. So, but you know what I mean. Like, he doesn't serve anymore. Who was arrested in 2019 and sentenced to 16 years for being a spy when he was there for his friend's wedding. And now there's a lot to the story, but the guy shouldn't be there. So a lot of people are saying, like, why, if they're going for somebody like the Merchant of Death, why wouldn't they get him, who's been there since 2019, rather than her? Listen, regardless of whatever's going on, this woman needed to come home. And Paul needs to come home.
Agreed.
And now, if you've already given up the Merchant of Death, can't you trade somebody else? Sort of, is there not somebody else we can give?
Who else? Yeah, who else do we have? Who else is in the chamber waiting that Russia really wants? Well, the Merchant of Death makes a lot of sense right now because, of course, they're in the middle of a war where they're building missiles as they're shooting them. Kind of is the situation in Russia right now. So they need their guy who can get them all the weapons. They need all of that arms dealer dude, which, I mean, if he just like died in transit, that would be dope. Like that'd be neat. I mean, but more importantly, the Brittany Griner is home. That's great news. I mean, one of the best professional athletes of our time. She is arguably one of the greatest women's basketball players ever. I mean, she's been incredible since her career began at Baylor University. So it's exciting to get her back. It's unfortunate because of what everyone has been kind of allowing to create the rifts between everyone here. It's not the fact that we got an American home or there was an American who was being detained, being treated like junk, absolute trash because she was being used as a pawn, which kind of it all coincided with the time of Russia, of course, invading Ukraine, Brittany Griner being this huge, massive star, which had to go work internationally because, women don't get paid the same as their male counterparts. And yes, I understand. Now, look, WNBA, if you don't bring it in the amount of money, you can't be paid the amount of money. So obviously it's not as big as the NBA.
But I feel like that should be mentioned more. It's never really mentioned because there's a narrative being pushed, and it's like these are capitalist-driven jobs, and that's how it goes. So,
I mean, hey, you can't go to a restaurant where people aren't eating. You're not going to keep the doors open. People aren't going to work there. You're not going to have a job, and you're not going to make money on tips. So it's the same kind of deal. If you want to give that breakdown, but at the same token, she was over there doing something for work and did something stupid by bringing some weed to a country that doesn't really like that. Like that's idiotic.
That's where it gets a little dicey in a lot of areas. Like I said, our values aren't other people's values, so you can't eat. And I'm not saying this about her exclusively. I feel like most Americans are ignorant in that sense.
Oh, absolutely. Some people just think they can get away with it. Yeah.
And we have been for so long that it pisses other people off. Like, and I think that comes down to it's like, one, I'm not going to Russia. I don't care if work is sending me. I don't care if it's like, hey, the Scene Snobs are huge. You're going to go on a tour of Russia and see what? Siberia? No, I'm good.
At this point, if we got over there, it would probably be because some oligarch wanted us to be telling his stuff. We're not doing it. We're not doing it.
Never happened.
I mean, I'd much rather go to, I don't know, Italy or
I'm not going anywhere.
Australia.
I'm going to Singapore. That's it. No.
Bro, that's what I'm here for. I'm the representative. I'll be the ambassador of our clan. I'll just walk around with a big tablet of you so you can just see everything and hang out with me.
Here's why I'll never go to Australia. You got me on the rant, okay?
Let's do it. Why would you never go to
Australia?
Well, obviously Australia will actually take you in. Who knows what kind of dangers you could face there.
Well, first of all, it's this is a fact that it was built as a penal colony. I'm just saying, I don't know how that rolls down with evolution and biology and genes. No, I'm kidding there. But I'm never going to Australia. First of all, everything tries to kill you.
Truth.
And they know that. That's why the other reason I'm not going there is because everyone looks like Chris Hemsworth or Margot Robbie. And it's like,
or Samara Weaving or Nicole Kidman or Naomi Watts or just keep going.
I just said Margot Robbie because it's kind of a blanket statement.
Well, they all look the same or similar. Let's not be that mean.
I mean, look at me.
I see you.
Look at me. Like, no, you don't put me next to people.
What are you talking about?
You especially don't put me next to people that look like them. Isn't it?
You do not get to put yourself down.
I'm not putting myself down. I'm telling you the truth.
Are way prettier than Hugh Jackman and Chris Hemsworth combined.
You are a sick human being.
Those sick bastards, they got nothing on you, all right?
They can both sing and dance. They both have abs for days. They're both...
Who needs those? Nobody likes it. The guy who brings a six-pack to the party. The guy who brings a keg. So come on.
Maybe when you're 20, And they all look like they are. I don't know what they're drinking in Australia, but it's a fountain of youth. I'll tell you that much.
I don't know. It's probably just a bunch of beer that also wants to try to kill them because everything wants to kill you in Australia. I mean, koalas are attractively fun, good looking, like cool. What's up? They look sweet. They look like something you would be. I would let my guard down around and be like, "Hey, guy," and they get mauled to death because they're smooth-brained mammals who only act on instinct. There's nothing there. So that's terrifying because they could just freak out and maul your face. Not to mention the spiders that are as big as you.
Yeah. Crocodiles everywhere.
They have an island of snakes that are all some of the most poisonous snakes on Earth.
Yeah, they said you like, and people live on that island.
Yeah, by choice.
Well, like my mind is exploding right now thinking about that. Like, why would you choose this?
I would go there just because I feel like me personally, I'm a novelty. Like I feel like I could walk through there and just be ridiculous and the silly American. So I've got a shot.
We're gonna go through everybody's comments, but I want to bring this one up especially right now. And kangaroos that will punch you. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the scary part of Australia, because it's the people that fight the kangaroos for fun.
Yeah.
They fight the kangaroos for fun. I've seen Wake and Fright with Donald Pleasance. Australia is a nightmare place.
You've got water that's just filled with sharks and things that want to cut and bite or eat you one way or the other.
I just feel like Australia is a combination of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and like Sunrise Bay. Yeah.
I always think of, if you've ever seen the movie Wormwood.
Yeah, it's like that, but mixed with Passions, the soap opera.
Yeah, no, 100%. And
beautiful.
And Passions, the soap opera. Yeah, everyone's beautiful, but there's also like wild kangaroos, just like the way there was that weird wizard in Passions. Like it's on that degree of craziness.
There's so
you never
much
know what you're gonna get.
I can't go there. I'll go to Singapore though. I feel safe in Singapore.
I love that you're all about some Singapore. We're huge in Singapore. That's why
we are. We've actually our percentage numbers have grown in Singapore. We went from 5% to 8%.
That's awesome.
That is.
Thank you, Singaporeans.
Thank you. We love you, Singapore.
Hell yeah. We'll go to Singapore before Australia.
See what's on the comments.
I say we will. I will.
Like I would go. No, I won't go. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not. I'm staying in America. I'm sorry. No offense to anybody.
It's okay. I'm
too fat for the planes.
I just put in yesterday for my. Yeah, you are not too fat for the planes.
I am too fat for the planes.
That's okay. Would you want to take a shipping container over?
No.
We can do it terrible. That sounds great. We'll punch some holes in it. We'll build a little fire. We'll just take a nice little trip. Maybe sing some, I don't know, shanties. Hang out with the crew.
Nah, I'm good. I don't want to do that anymore. Kathleen is going to try to change subjects to something like My Little Pony. I'm looking forward to it. It ain't happening.
Oh, we'll talk.
So did you see the new My Little Pony? No, I'm kidding. I'm going to bring up
I finally killed them all.
Did you get it? Did you do a tour of your wall art?
I have not.
You should do it for TikTok.
I want to do that, and I've actually just started pulling out the rest of my art as I've been doing more cleaning and shifting, and I did not realize how much I have.
Good.
I have a lot.
So. You should do the wall first, and then every once in a while just be like, hey, here's a couple of pieces of art that I picked up from such
a good idea.
And I'll take it and I'll post it on the thing.
Good call.
I'm so good at this.
Call.
Currently the tiny human is exceptionally whining this morning and is watching Care Bears and Cousins. Like, are they the cousins of the Care Bears?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So, like, is this a show about like the Care Bears, like
cousins?
I'm confused because is it live action?
Wouldn't
that be fun?
Are the cousins the ones that are not bears, like the lion and stuff?
I got it. So it's like the Berenstein Bears, who are
Berenstain.
whatever. They're cousins of the Care Bears.
The Care Bears.
Are
I don't know what
cousins
you
with the
mean.
Berenstein Bears.
There's so much happening, but I don't know who the cousins are. Like Cousin Larry from Perfect Strangers?
Oh, Cousin Larry.
Cousin Larry. Good morning, gentlemen. What's up, Paul?
Morning,
fellow
Paul.
Snobs fan.
Hi, buddy.
Been missing you. We miss you too, buddy. I talked to Paul on the phone the other day.
Yeah, man. I love talking to Paul. I miss that guy.
That's the thing. Hold on, I'm coming right back to you, Sturt.
Mm-hmm.
I hate talking on the phone. Paul loves talking on the phone.
I know. There's some
So
people
when
that
Paul messages me, he's like, "Hey, you got a minute to talk?" It's the same as when you say, or my wife says, or my brother says, or anybody says, "Hey, you got a minute to talk?" No.
Text me.
Text me.
Not me.
I want to know if I can avoid this for a while.
I'm a phone call guy. I'm like,
No,
you know what's gonna get everything done right now? At the power of what is it? At the power of business.
But here's the thing, like if
I can't even
I'm
talk
a
this
phone
morning.
call guy when I need all the information. Like if I know somebody's going to leave out information in a text or an email, I'm like, all right, let me call this person because they're going to drive me nuts. And I will give it to Paul. Paul's very cordial on the phone.
Paul's fantastic on the phone.
I like Paul, the way Paul talks on the phone.
I do too, because I definitely feel like we could be like hanging out on the phone. Like I should be spinning the cord while like talking about boys. And it's always like, oh my gosh, did you get the new Tiger Beat? Oh my gosh, JTT looks so dreamy. Like
you get so much out of me. That's it. That's it. There's only so much that's coming.
Now me, I've started to get excited again. It's come back. So now when people call, I'm like, oh my God, phone call time. Let's dish.
You're like my wife. She's always like walking around on the phone. And I'm like, how do you do it? How do you want to talk to people?
Well, I have a headset. So it's much easier when you don't have to hold it physically there.
I'm one of those rambunctious asshole human beings, excuse me, and I'll take the dollar on that, but who just will put it on the speaker and I will let them know they're on speaker in public so that way they'll get off the phone quicker. It's like,
see, the fun part for me is when you do that. I also know how uncomfortable you get in crowds. So when you do that with me, it's very easy to start going, it's okay. They got the results back. So just so you know, everything's going to clear up in about 4 days.
That's fun. I'm not getting laid. that would have pissed me off like, I don't know, 8-9 years ago.
Pre-marriage, basically.
Pre-marriage, yeah.
Anytime before the marriage time.
No, anytime before I met her, because I'm not getting in trouble with that one. I saw a lot of people, they were mad about the trade, even pulled race into it, saying doing it for black votes, which pisses me off. Oh, don't get me wrong. Joe Biden's 1,000% doing this for black votes because I don't trust him. And I'm telling you all this because not the SnobNation, but like anybody listening who doesn't understand, politicians are demons.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't think that everything is strategically done for votes, you're insane.
It's all it is, votes and money.
And no, this doesn't make me a card-carrying Republican to say Joe Biden sucks. I don't like either side. Like you're all demons. That's what you are.
What are they, demons or something?
Worse, demons. So yeah, he did it for the black vote. Regardless, she's home, and that's the best. Like, thank God she's home. That's what counts.
That's what matters, man. And we're at a point where it's. Yes, there's always going to be, everybody is always jockeying for something, always trying to get something out of it. But each side not allowing anything to be a victory. Each side always hammering the other side, not just completely trying to vilify everyone and no one gets as allowed wins. I think it's bull crap, man. We're supposed to be Americans. We're supposed to be one people. We're supposed to be one tribe. And yet we're so easily divided. It's just sad.
You know what I want? I want
breakfast because I would love some breakfast.
I would love some breakfast.
I'm thinking about ordering some breakfast.
You're smart, man.
Well, not all the time, but
I for one, and like we talk about this, we talk about like it, and it's come up before. I've heard the question asked from different people, like, what's your favorite version of America? Right?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, my favorite version of America was after 2 tragedies. And that was after 9/11, how America, like, it didn't matter what your political affiliation was, didn't matter. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We all came together.
Yep.
And then that same thing happened after the Boston bombing.
Yep.
We all came together, like, we were there. Yes, we're watching TV. We want to see the guys caught. And like, but everybody came together. Everybody was hugging each other. It didn't matter. It didn't matter, like, what your political affiliation was. Nothing divisive in your hearts mattered, because we were Americans at that moment. And I love that version of America. Now, it's sad that it took 2 huge tragedies to get there, but when we came together, we came together. And that, seeing how much we came together in times like that, is why I trust Americans. Because as much, and I don't mean to get all hopeful here, but like,
no, do it, man.
But I heard a pretty accurate statement about America recently from a TV show, and I was like, that's true. It was like, we screw up all the time. We're arrogant. We do everything mostly for ourselves, for our own, benefit. But at the same time, we are a country of people who say, and loudly, I can do better. And that's the key. That is the difference between us and literally every other country. Every other country is like, I'm going to get it right. Fine. But we're saying, I can do better. I cannot hear you. You have muted yourself.
How did I do that? That's magical.
I have no idea. It was not me.
No, I have no idea how I did that. I was clicking around and I'm like, oh, look at that. I muted myself.
I got like 3 seconds of like, yeah, I should have played like America the Beautiful behind me as I said it.
It was beautifully done. It was very well spoken. It is one of the best parts of being an American, is that we can do better. That entire government that we created, our forefathers created, was to be able to be altered as we change and grow and become better and allow room for us to be better. It's unfortunate that, yes, we have a marred history of some pretty screwed up stuff, as most nations do. But I think America's a pretty damn good one. And it's unfortunate when all we want to do is fight and argue and we show our worst sides. And that's a lot of what's happening right now, because I agree. One of my favorite parts about America is the way we come together and coalesce. Just think about our sports teams, the way we can come together and that cheering and that, especially the way the Sox won in 2004. That's
all right. I'm done. So welcome to the morning show, where I'm not going to let him talk about the Red Sox winning in 2004. I literally gave an inspiring, rousing speech. How is the 2004
ALCS not incredibly inspiring? All right.
Mine was more inspiring.
Or the U.S. women's national team.
You got divisive with it. You're the part of the problem, Casey.
Am I?
You are pushing.
Am I? Or do we not know that Boston is better than New York?
But here you're going back to a rivalry. I'm saying Americans come together and they can do this, and this is the best version of America. And you're when like, it's a good rivalry.
You know what? Yeah, because that's what America is. We fight. We will fight each other. We will fight everyone. We love fighting. We were a nation born of fights. We are a nation who has been more at war throughout our entire time than we have ever been at peace. We love to fight and meddle and screw with other people and break their shit and then go, I don't know, you should be more careful.
Can I ask you a serious question?
You can ask me a very serious question.
In the history of humanity.
Yes.
In the history of known humanity.
Yep.
Has there been a time where we've existed and there wasn't war? Any generation?
No.
Exactly. So everybody's just like,
we're currently in what we call the Pax Americana, which is like the longest period of peace the history is known, even though there's still tons of fights and tons of, people dying and there's battles everywhere. But, Yeah, I mean, comparatively speaking, we can say, sure, we're America and we're better than these other nations. But it's also like we have so much more work to do, and it would be so much easier if everyone just stopped being shitheads to each other. God, that's
Listen,
two in this run.
listen, Casey. Listen. Here's the deal.
I'm just frustrated with we should be better. We should be better, God damn it. We can
We
be
can do
better.
better.
We
We
are
just got to
better.
drop the arrogance and do better. That's it.
Just humble yourselves a little bit, accept that you don't do everything right, and just go be better.
I had such an inspiring, rousing speech, and you took it straight to, you're like, hey, I'm going down in the sewer here, and I'm taking this conversation with me.
Let's go. Hey,
See what
you're not bringing up America without us getting in the dirt.
All right, fair. They drag everybody through the dirt. It ain't just America. I feel the Merchant of Death should have got us the other guy who's been there longer. Okay, here's my feelings on this because I did think about this, Radar. And Casey is more well versed because he hates America. But I'm kidding. I know you love America. You served your country. Appreciate you.
No, thanks.
I do. I was being serious.
You didn't sound like it.
I got in serious tone and everything. All right. Anyway,
your serious tone sounded a little bit like, hey, whatever, go fuck yourself. Anyway.
There's a few different things. Should the Merchant of Death, I think the Merchant of Death probably should have got us both of them. I mean, better your negotiation skills, Biden. He was probably sitting there. He's like, just give us the girl, because that's who he is.
Give us the girl.
Like
he turned it into a fucking Tim McGraw movie or something. Tim McGraw song.
He can't talk.
Just
so of course
bring the girl.
He's like, but again, Putin's the one playing political chess here and taking Americans and throwing them in prison so he can get what he wants. And that's not just Putin. Other countries do that too, but
North Korea's done it, China's done it. You and I in our lifetime have witnessed at least 30 people.
We even witnessed at least 15 movies about that.
Oh my God, yes.
And that weren't even fake.
That should be one of our show topics. One of these week's hostage movies.
Yeah, I'm Broken Down Palace. Oh, Midnight Express. Oh,
yeah,
rough. The worst. But then, Midnight Express, he did have the pot. Like,
he was at fault. No one's saying he did it right.
That's where, like, again, I'm not saying I agree with like the outcome or their justice system. Mm-hmm. But it's like but I'm not going to I don't want to go to jail here, so I don't break the law.
Right. I mean, that's,
and I feel like that should go everywhere. Like, what sort of entitlement does one have? And this isn't set to Brittany Griner or anybody else specifically, but like, what sense of entitlement as Americans do we have to go to another country and be like, but it's fine where I'm from?
That's one of the issues, man. That's a huge issue. Is there's a complete lack of respect and an arrogance and a whole sort of like, but I'm an American. It's fine for us. But yeah, you can't do that everywhere else.
Like, I'm not going to go to Ireland, get hammered, start a bar fight because I'm like, this is what you do, right? Like,
I think that might actually work. Look, some stereotypes,
but it may not
are fitting.
I don't think there's anybody they want to trade with Ireland over.
I'm gonna still have a great time watching it happen.
No, that should not happen. So no, but like this little stuff like that, like we talk about it, and it's just so I get what you're saying, Radar, and yeah, I wish the other guy would come home too. Paul Whelan is his name, and he's been there a long time, but at the same time, if you don't stop blaming Biden. Why didn't Trump get him out? You could have traded the Merchant of Death for him in 2019. But you didn't, nobody ever did it. Nobody ever went to go help him out. And also, he's an ex-Marine. He's probably handling himself better than a basketball player in a Russian gulag. Yeah. And that's all they are, is they're gulags. I don't care what anybody says.
No, that's true. That's 100%. Yeah.
Well, all they literally did was change the name. It's almost like, hey, you know what used to be global warming? Climate change. Like, we just changed the name.
Right, exactly. It's all the same. Still all the same stuff. And people are just trying to change the name so they can change the narrative and be like, well, it's different. And it's like, no, it's exactly what it is. And the same thing's happening. So just because you're slapping a new name on it doesn't make it better or different. Although I love the idea of walking up to a gulag and instead of it saying gulag, there's just like a piece of timber cut out and then painted over like camp.
Happy summertime camp.
Yes, exactly.
I'm going to quote.
We welcome you to Happy Summertime Camp. It is a place where you will take Big Rock turn into Little Rock. It's different than Gulag. We no longer do the other thing where we do not beat you with wet towel anymore. Now you have clean, dry towel to be beaten with.
I imagine every gulag, it just snows 24/7. All year round.
And it's always on like a side of a castle. Or it's like a castle inside of a mountain or something. Or maybe at the top of a mountain that can only be reached by a helicopter. Yeah, I'm with you.
Every prison looks like the prison from season 4 of Stranger Things.
Every single one.
Every single one.
And over half of them are in Siberia. So
the only prison I would allow myself to go to is the one that Spider-Man went to, and the second one, Far From Home. In Sweden.
That'd be pretty sweet. I've always wanted to go to one where like Peter Griffin went to from Family Guy. Those look nice.
Yeah, or some of those ones that like the rich people go to. Send me there.
Right? The Club Med versions, Club Fed, I believe they call them. Those would be.
I still wouldn't want to go, so I'm not going to break the law. But geez,
yeah, that's probably just a smarter route to go.
I don't want to go to another country because I'd be afraid. I feel like it feels like what was the name of that book where they stepped on a butterfly?
Butterfly Effect.
No, there was a book, and they went back dinosaur ages. I can't think of it at the moment. It's driving me crazy. And I've read this book like 4 times when I was a kid. Oh my God.
If was it a Hardy Boys adventure?
No, it's a famous book too.
H.G. Wells' Time Machine?
No. Step on a Bug and Dinosaur. I'm Googling that.
Was it the creepy Mark Twain?
You're gonna remember it when I say it.
Claymation?
That did not work. Now they're just talking about bugs in prehistoric times. Maybe because I forgot to write book. That was the defining me.
What was the first Audubon? It was actually a caveman who just chiseled some inscriptions, and that's how we began the Audubon Society.
Every one of these are books about insects during dinosaur times. There's a book. Ed Burns did a movie on it. I'm going to look up Ed Burns. This is my research. This is where I've come to.
I do love Ed Burns, man. He was great. Talk about
awesome.
Like 90s hard, man. He's fantastic.
I don't know why he did he needs a job playing the dad on some sitcom somewhere.
I'm sure something. He's had one.
I want to ask him what he's done. He did a movie I really liked. That
Picture Perfect?
No, it was The Groomsman. I mean, I like Brothers McMullen and a lot of his other older stuff.
Love Brothers McMullen. Oh my God.
But yeah, no, he cannot for the life of me remember the name of the thing though. No, that wasn't it. That wasn't the movie. Where Sound of Thunder. A Sound of Thunder. That was the name of the book.
Okay.
And it was about so in the future they would take tours of prehistoric times because they had time travel capabilities. Right. And they would say you have to stay on this path because if anything happens, it can drastically affect the future. Okay, and somebody steps on a bug and it completely changes the future. So they have to try and get back and fix it. It's I mean, it's been remade 1 billion times, but
no, I just love that. I love how excited you are about it too.
Let's see. Jason's here. Good morning. What's up, buddy?
Jason.
George C3 says we could trade Odell Beckham Jr. We already did that as the Giants fans.
Yes, we did, man. We're happy to be rid of him.
Hopefully, with Brittany coming back, that will help the WNBA. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna watch, but I don't watch basketball in general. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I've just stopped watching most sports. I don't have time, except for baseball, which is America's pastime.
Oh Jesus! Do not say the Red Sox, please.
Tessie,
the judge is staying, baby.
Shouted.
The judge is staying.
Yeah. Oh, I see. You got $300 million, 9 years for that guy.
He's worth it.
Yeah. If he can carry your team to the playoffs, yeah, he's absolutely worth it.
He's our new Mr. October. Most people won't say it. A lot of people outraged about her in Russia. I'd never heard of her name before. Well, I mean, just because you haven't heard of her doesn't mean that her going to Russia shouldn't, like, we shouldn't try and help her, right? Like, I mean, I know you're all on board with helping her. Radar. And
Big fan.
But let's face facts. If he never went to Russia, you would never heard of Paul Whelan either. You know? So you were not going to hear any of these people. Like, because they're not going to lock up stars. Like, legit. Like, they're not going to lock up George Clooney. You know?
Oh, God. Wouldn't that be great, though? Could you imagine
call his other 10 friends to save him?
Exactly. All of a sudden, it would be the greatest moment ever. Brad Pitt's just showing up. Matt Damon's out there. Everybody's just thrown out there. Oh, that would be so cool, man.
Go.
Don Cheadle's just randomly and like driving away in a truck somewhere. It's like, what the fuck?
I look at you all the time. I'll put you next to anyone and you will win. Who? What? I love you.
Oh, that's right. The Australians. This is when we were talking about.
Oh, that's right. And we've got to go back a little bit. I'm on Sound of Thunder now, so you got to just bear with me. Koalas are vicious and they have syphilis.
As a rule.
It's all the avoidance. That's how Rome died.
So here's what happened. This whole city, right, gets infected by syphilis. Right,
no,
so this whole thing.
What was it? Lead poisoning, right?
Yeah, lead poisoning. There was a combination of things. It wasn't one. Yeah, Rome was lucky; they got to get all kinds of stuff.
Rome inbred themselves into obscurity.
New Rome happened in the Ottoman Empire. They managed to also get the bubonic plague, which is pretty dope.
Yeah. Kangaroos that will punt. Oh, we did that one. Tasmanian devils, that's a group of them, can eat a full-grown male kangaroo, bones and all, in a matter of minutes. Yeah, I've seen the cartoon. I know what they can do. I know what Tasmanian devils are capable of. I've seen the cartoon.
I'm well aware. I've seen all the documentaries that included by Bugs E. Bunny, by a massive cinema legend.
They all shut up. I'm a cinema legend. They also
that's the
travel.
T-shirt.
I'm a cinema legend.
I'm a cinema legend.
That's it. That is my new merch I'm making today. Casey, we're doing it. Yeah, and Tasmanian devils also travel around by tornado. It's a true story.
Yes, they do. They do, in fact, actually.
I want to see a horror movie with koalas and kangaroos. I love that Sturdy's like mixing it up. He's like, that's what I want to see. Give it to me. Sturdy should be the head of a studio, a horror studio.
Oh, absolutely. He would be like the better Trauma.
You leave Lloyd alone. Lloyd's a good guy.
No,
Coming
I don't
soon,
mean it like
Koalaroo.
Yes.
No. Because that's going to happen.
When your scientists don't realize the mayhem they can create, prepare yourself for the Koalaroo. Yeah, man.
I would come to Michigan. Like, see, I've traveled all over this country. I've lived in different states. And it's a beautiful place. I love America. I do. And I've been to Canada, I've been to Mexico. Like, there's some beautiful areas. Don't get me wrong. I'm not putting anything down except for all the hellscapes that are outside of this place.
Well, because it's not Jersey.
At least in Jersey, you feel safe.
Excuse
you do.
Me?
It's
from
you
what?
Know how Mad Max knew he'd be safe at the Thunderdome ultimately?
Obviously. Yeah. No,
obviously,
he
right?
Didn't question anything at all. I mean,
because he looked at the Thunderdome and he goes, I've been preparing for this for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I think I'm ready. I'm good. I can do this. Like, there's always some skepticism, but you're good. That's Jersey. Like, I'm not afraid anywhere else. I just don't want to end up in a prison in some weird country.
I get that. And the people who run Jersey are kind of similar to those who run Bartertown. So I get it. There's an authority level there that you're confident with when that those people really have the people's well-being in mind.
Yeah.
It's all about your safety.
But I would come to Michigan, but I'm afraid that the Ed 209 would kill me.
I would happily come to Michigan. I'm just going to leave that open ended because I will
We
happily come to
probably
Michigan.
will
I want to
end up-
do.
We should do a
I-
tour of the Upper
I
Peninsula.
want to do a tour. Yes.
Of the Upper Peninsula during
You
the
peeing
fall.
all day.
It's just you and I just walking. Like we get long shots of us walking on docks while the leaves are changing and stuff. I just imagine there's a lot of docks in Michigan.
Oh, naturally, yeah, tons of
has to be.
docks. What else would you have? I mean, there's some mountains too, so they probably have a bunch of hunting cabins.
It's just you and I walking on the beach, just and like jumping away from the waves, like, and it's just like it's not an ocean, but it's close. It's close.
I just now imagine this whole. I just got this whole thing where it's all done in sepia tone, as we're just like the film of.
Dude, this is where you get. This is the key right here. This is where you really get. They don't just want to cane you. I want to go to Singapore. Singapore seems so nice,
Right?
Because I'm not going to do vandalism.
Hey, yeah. How about if I'm just not going to be a dick when I go there? It'd be great to hang out in Singapore because you can just be nice and go experience another culture and be excited to get out of your own tiny world and then go, all right, cool. I'm glad I got to see that. Back home.
So yeah, just don't be an asshole. Don't do that stuff. Easy. Like I don't go to jail here. I don't break the law.
Yeah, just don't be a jerk.
I didn't smoke pot until they said, "Hey, this is legal." Okay, I'm good then. Yeah. All right. Let's do this. But you know what is legal? Alcohol. And you know how many DUIs or accidents I've seen? Lots.
Tons.
All the time.
Constantly.
I moved to Virginia, and literally I married and became best friends with the only two people in Virginia that never got a DUI.
Yeah, it's fair.
Everyone else has had one. At least one.
Knock on wood, because you never know. Could be someone hiding around it.
Much like we're talking about. Just don't drink and drive. And you're good.
It seems logical.
It's
That's kind of a stretch, though, because, I mean, Mick, what if I'm out
Call me
I want to have a drink?
Call me and I'll pick you up. I'll come pick you up. I'll keep my friend safe.
You're a good friend. That's why I love and appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely. I got your back. So, yeah. Planes are just too small for me. Most are. Every plane is too short for Mick.
Yeah,
that's 100% true. I used to fly a lot. I was a lot smaller than them too. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You ever just get something in your brain, you're like, this will be funny, and you're like, no.
All the time. It's honestly, sometimes that's why I'm just quiet for a moment, because I have to run through what's in my brain and go, probably not the best to say that out loud.
Come to Michigan and visit Oswald's Bear Ranch. But why? Because they'd be out of business.
Well, they'd all be killed the moment
there'd be no bears
near
left.
them. Yeah. He's got that death aura, man. Those bears should die around him.
Just go fight them. I want to see Mock, and I'm saying it that way because I love it. I love it.
Hello, Mock.
I want to see Mock fight a Australian bear or its equivalent. I'll tell you, they'll be tougher.
Koala.
Wait, is that the only bear in? Is that the only bear in Australia?
I'm pretty sure. I don't think they have any actually like moon bears or bears along that size of what we know as a traditional bear.
All right, now I gotta type it in. Does Australia? This is my skills right here. Australia have bears, not koalas. And I spelled Australia wrong. I don't know. There's so many words here. Does Australia have any bears? Drop bears can be found in densely forested regions. What is a drop bear? What is that? Do I have a new species to fight?
Go ahead and check out some drop bears, bro.
Oh my God.
They're terrifying.
Are they? Did you look it up?
And they'll just they'll drop down out of anywhere.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I'm not fighting these.
No.
No.
But you'll naturally kill them just walking by them.
These things are horrifying. Oh my God.
Beware the drop bear.
I wouldn't even show this to you. Oh, that's scary. There's one, they have like footage of, and they turn it. Why would you turn that into a GIF? I got to get out of this. This is too much.
You've now found the dangers of bears that you. Most Australian creatures are a bridge too far.
Well, I feel like a big bear is easy to fight
because he's iron tough.
Big bear. But like little bears dropping out of trees? No, I'm screwed, man.
Well, it's like a koala bear, except, more terrifying.
I can't do this. I'll fight a Care Bear. Care Bears and their cousins, lion, raccoons, elephants. That's not the cousin. That's not the cousin of a bear, though.
That's not how that works, Kathleen. See,
this interspecies erotica.
Yeah, that's a different kind of fan fiction. But which we wrote some about supernatural, that same vein. It was
it was so good. We had such a great time with them.
I really enjoyed the emu arc we took with it. That was impressive. I
thought that's who you met. Because I said it before. I said the lion. I forgot what else was in there. But I thought that's what you meant. But they're not cousins. They're just friends. They're just friends that come by.
It's not. It's like kissing cousins, but different.
Yeah, it's fair.
Because they eat each other.
Can we all agree that, yes, politicians are awful and that we should manufacture our own?
Oh, we just make robots?
No, just like groom like people and just be like, all right.
I'm pretty sure we've tried that.
Can we groom like a Captain America?
I think we get a Homelander.
Is there? Yeah, that's fair. Is there nobody who's like a Jack Ryan, who's just like right and wrong? That's it. Like,
well, but those people don't want that job. Those people don't want to be in charge. The people who need to be in charge are generally and most commonly the ones who are not going to be taking that job.
I would do it, but nobody would vote for me because I'm an idiot.
Well, honestly, man, if you got David Palmer to be your advisor, you'd probably have some sway there.
I would make you my chief of staff.
Oh, well, of course, chief of staff. I mean, what else am I going to be? I'm not going to be in your...
You want to be the vice president? You just want to be off doing whatever? Have you heard from Kamala Harris this entire time?
No, I don't want to be a vice president. I'd much rather be like a member of the cabinet or in charge of the cabinet. Because what else am I going to be? What am I? I want to be. I've
watched The West Wing. It's chief of staff.
Yeah, I want to be chief of staff. That's what I'm saying. Because then I can be the one who pokes the people in the cabinet.
I would just hire people that I knew would want to do a good job for everyone, not just one party.
That would usually be logical and kind of what the idea of America's founding was on. But yeah, no, it's cool. It's exciting to see where people are sending us.
Housing and urban development. I mean, yeah, let's just go with that doctor who was a surgeon and was in the movie Stuck on You. Yeah, let's not go with, I don't know. People who know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, why would you do that? There's political favors. Well, you owe him.
Yeah, I don't.
If you owe someone, you give them a position of power.
That's just it. That's why I would never make a good politician, because you'd be like, you owe me. No, I don't. No, I don't.
Holy shit.
I don't owe you anything. I owe the American people. Go away. And then they'd look into my past and they'd be like, he did this. And I'd be like, yeah, I did.
It's just funny to me how they're such the bad guys. Like there's this whole sect of politicians that are just like the evil doing bad guys of the corporate shills who are the men behind the dark corners that were always like, nah, that can't be real. Nah, that can't be that crazy. Nah, that can't be that corrupt. And yet we stare right at it every day. And people just, the power of denial, man. That thing ain't just a river in Egypt. It's crazy. Crazy to me.
It is. And I agree with you 100%. And it's gotten to a point where they should just make me president.
I mean, clearly, the only option at this point is between you and Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. I think the three of you, and I will be.
Are we the three most likable human beings on the planet?
Just right now in this moment, yes. That's at 100%.
In my own mind.
Well, after some of the worst news we could ever get, I'm so sad today.
It's easier to control us if we are all fighting one. You're 100% right. That's
is.
why
Oh,
it's
yeah.
easier when you're running something and building a community, no matter how big or how small, you don't use control to do it.
Bingo. That's why, Nietzsche always talked about, the religion being the opiate of the masses. It's because it's easier to control people if there's a potentially super bad thing hovering over your head, that fear. It's all that fear. And it's been all about fear mongering to pit everyone against each other rather than just use your own freaking mind and figure out what the thing is. If people are talking about a thing and complaining about a thing, yelling about a thing, why don't you go talk about the thing? Why don't you go research and learn and read and understand and then make up your own mind instead of running with some other person's opinion about it? I'm about sick and tired of everyone just grabbing other people's opinions and going, yeah, you know what? That guy's right. Fuck you. It's messed up, man.
We're going to end up owing a lot of money if we keep Casey on the same.
We're going to get we got to get off. You got to stop politics. It's not my thing anymore. I know.
I liken us to siblings. I can beat my brother and sister up, but if you're someone else's, we're going to have an issue. And that's not the way it can be, because we got to all protect each other. But
we can be better, and we can be kinder, and we can help each other more, and we can listen to each other, and we can be more open and more considerate, and stop just being pricks for the sake of being pricks because it makes us feel good.
All right. Did you know that in medieval times they thought tomatoes were poisonous, but it was actually the acid in the tomato eating away at their pewter plates, and people getting lead poisoning? I know people are stupid.
That is freaking awesome.
Thank
you, Kathleen.
You feel safe in Jersey because nobody comes to visit because it's Jersey. We have 4 million people living there, and people come all the time. It's hugely popular for tourists.
Look, for as much crap as I get it, but it's more or less just to mess with you.
I know.
I've always enjoyed Jersey. I've always had a great time. When I was living in McGuire, it was great. Now, yes, Jersey is the place that I did get a yellow jacket stuck in my shoe and stung 3 times on my heel as a child.
That could have happened anywhere,
but it happened in Jersey.
But that's now
the whole point is it could have, but it didn't. Mike, it didn't. That's the important thing here.
I knew that's the way it would be. I knew that's why you hate it.
Because a friggin' yellow jacket wound up on my shoe and ruined my day. I was on the playground, man. It was awesome.
I am just sending my wife a message. Sorry. So here's the next one. If you're serious, I know a photographer in the Upper Peninsula. She does great work. If we ever get there, sure.
Can she drive us up there, John? Because I'd really like a driver.
Because if we had to drive to the Upper Peninsula, I think you have to drive through Wisconsin because it's actually in Wisconsin.
I don't know.
Make fun of Jersey. Stop stealing other people's peninsulas. How about that?
I'm making fun of Jersey, and I am not from Michigan. But you go ahead and just keep throwing it at me.
You're from literally the state that every Christmas movie seems to be made in.
I'm just saying it's a pretty great state.
No, because all of them are except for Die Hard, which is awesome. Go to the Cut River Bridge in fall, or the Porcupine Mountains. What is so? Are you still watching Care Bears? What is this? Lakes of the Clouds, guys. It's breathtakingly beautiful. You're not. This isn't Michigan. You're still watching Care Bears and Cousins. That's what 100%. That is.
Well, those are all the scenes where the cousin scenes happen. That's what...
Jesus. Oh my gosh. I want. Yeah. So you even said, "Oh my gosh." Like, it's sweet. It is, and it matches all of those places you mentioned in your last comment. Like. I want to see a picture of Mick next to Veronica John. She'd look like a toddler. I've taken so many of those pictures where, a woman is like 4 foot tall, and it's like, hey, stand next to her. And it's like, yeah, make her feel awkward, make me feel awkward, and take a picture where her head is literally just in the bottom and my head is out
America.
of the top.
No one cares about you and how you feel. This is going to be funny. Get in the picture.
I've set you down a dark path that I need to bring you back from. The Red Sox are good. Now leave me alone. She's 4'11". She's 4'11". Sure, looks like all right, I'm gonna let you guys have your fight. Radar's gone. He says he's off to work. See you later, Mick. Come to the radio. I wish I could.
We needed to go to a rodeo. There are rodeos around here. There are rodeos everywhere. We will find a rodeo this year.
It looks like drop bears are actually fake, not by Google. He says
He
show
interneted it.
I interneted it. I didn't write the Care Bear show. It's not how biology work, but that's how it goes. God damn it, Kathleen. How could you be pushing all this interspecies erotica?
No, it's not how biology works. That's so good.
They are not cousins, just friends. Takes on a whole different meaning in some parts of the country, like Kentucky and West Virginia.
Bingo.
Morning, Snob Nash. What's up?
Yo, Dale. What's up, buddy?
I love it. Dale, we love when you're here, man. I've been to Jersey once. My dad only went to Jersey because the gas was cheaper than in New York, and he didn't want to stay any longer than necessary. Well, then you missed out on some beautiful areas.
It's gorgeous.
If only there was a bridge to drive across from the lower peninsula to the upper. Yeah, see, you guys seized that too. Then it's not a peninsula. Not anymore.
Well, I mean, a peninsula is technically just a landmass.
Yeah,
it just sticks out into the water.
Listen. It's not a peninsula anymore. You guys are
what
idiots.
Is
it? No. Nope, all the places are in the UP. I'm sure they are, and I'm sure it's pretty.
Let's do it.
You know? So what you're saying to me is the Upper Peninsula is like a cloud walk, and everything in the hand is a nightmare hellscape, just like RoboCop.
Toledo?
I think Toledo's nice. I've seen Friends. Isn't that where he went? Is Toledo?
Is that where he went? Wait, which he?
Chandler. He got a job in Toledo. Remember he had to travel back and forth.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Man, Matthew Perry, how about that guy?
Yeah, he's got a lot going on for him right now. Well, he did. Like, he's out of the news now, but
he was in there for a minute, man. I mean, between all of the stuff with his book and his one-man show, and then talking about all the struggles he went through and how, he was basically just on drugs his whole life. It's pretty much. Anytime he was successful, he was high. It's like, holy cow.
Well, it is 8:12. If you would oblige me for a moment, I'm going to run and just say goodbye to my kid.
I guess I will do my best.
You'll do great. I'll be right back. This is not going to be a long break.
All right. Hi, everybody. How are you doing? So, have some interesting news that I wanted to go over, and I didn't bring it up. So it's really cool that we're all hanging out this morning, and I have completely forgotten to bring up my portion now. I do have Dunkin' Donuts on the way, which I'm very excited about. This is going to be great this morning. Let's see. What do we have here? What's going on? I'm completely lost. I'm sorry, guys. This is terrible radio right now. Just awful. Oh, my goodness. Miserable. How about Liz Hurley, huh? She's still around. 56 years old. Crushing it. I have nothing. I have not been this completely lost in front of a mic in some time. So, sorry, guys. Because I have no idea which direction we want to go. I don't know. I'm lost. Doing terribly. Wow. There was a time when I was good at this. There was an era that I used to really enjoy sitting in front of this microphone and used to enjoy being able to do all of this. But now I'm at a loss because I don't know which way to go. So if I bring up politics, I'm just going to be mad right now. And unfortunately, Mick's already kind of started me down that path. So it's difficult to pull myself out of it when all I'm thinking about is being bitter and the bitterness that's happening. Okay, Sturdy, I'll throw one at you. So one of the most recent movies I watched was Christmas with You, which was, because I'm trying to get that whole Christmas spirit thing. Since that's been gone for anyone who watches, I basically don't have one anymore. I'm not sure how you get it back once it's gone. I'm pretty sure I'm waiting for 3 ghosts. About the only way that anything is going to work. And during this time, I figured, well, let me watch some rom-coms. Let me see if that'll bring me back. Let me see if that potentially could find something within my soul to make my heart sing again and flutter and fly away and be happy. But it hasn't really worked, and I've watched 9 of them. That's right, 9 of them so far. Work has been crazy with my job, so I've been trying to figure out things that'll actually bring me joy. And one of those things, aside from everyone in the Snobs Nation, because really that's one of the only places of happiness I find anymore, is all of you beautiful people out there. Love you guys. You're amazing. Thank you, love team. You're my love team. You're my people. So I decided to go with this one because it was a Freddie Prinze Jr. And who doesn't love Freddie Prinze Jr.? I mean, guy's amazing. He was king of the 2000s, early 2000s, end of the 90s. So I was hoping that this might be the one that would send me over the edge. Christmas with You did not, in fact, do it for me. It's on Netflix, so that's great. Freddie Prinze Jr. is definitely looking his age, which makes me feel amazing because that means I can age like a normal, natural human being now. Someone else has done it, and they didn't do it the Clooney way, which was just to get magically better. They actually stayed. They just he just got older. It's great. Some of the members in this horrifying movie, by the way, this movie is not great. It's not bad, but the acting is a little wooden, which is, to say that for a Hallmark, Netflix, not Lifetime movie, probably not really that far out of it. But Amy Garcia is the actress who plays opposite Freddie Prinze Jr. as the love interest. And this one was an interesting flick. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend that. This is definitely one of those, if you want to watch an awful Christmas movie that's got a ridiculous love story that, of course, being a single father as well, it's nice to have that little aspect in there where it's like, oh, okay. All right, cool. I like that they've got the daughter of Freddie Prinze Jr. that helps build that love connection, because that's really what you need. That's the entire point of having a child. And this point is the pivotal need to have them fill the slot to then just go ahead and be able to take over creating that bond and relationship, because it's always through the kid. You always fall in love with the child. Jerry Maguire did it. This movie does it. Yes, I just compared Christmas with You and Jerry Maguire because they're pretty much the same. There's another one that I watched too. So let me see what the breakdown is. Follows a pop star who's got a career burnout and escapes to a small town where she finds not only inspiration, but a shot of love.
Not gonna lie.
That's about what you would think it was.
Wait, are you doing the movies of this week?
No, man. I was doing Christmas with You. I was doing the breakdown of the rom-coms that I've been watching. Yeah,
you have been all about the rom-coms lately.
Well, I'm trying to find that Christmas spirit, and it's
I know.
not
I'm gonna
there.
help you. I got this.
Yeah,
we're gonna get you there. You got an inflatable? It's happening.
An inflatable what? An inflatable lamb?
Inflatable Christmas decoration.
Oh, I do have my sweet gnome. My gnome definitely makes me feel better. I should have my gnome on screen. I'm gonna go pick him up in a couple days. I'll bring him back here.
I love it.
I will have him here too.
I've
got my new I got my new tree here. I'm pretty stoked that I got the new tree. I still have to clear out a place for the tree, which has turned into more or less deep cleaning my house. It originally was just like one little corner that I was like, I'm so excited. I got this corner ready. And then it became, all right, let me fill the corner with all my other crap, so that way I can clean this whole other segment. So I've shifted the entire room from one side of the house to the other. So everything is just shifting in weird Tetris blocks as I'm like, I can clean this segment, shift. Clean this segment, shift.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Casey, what is the last movie? Okay, so that's where this all stems from.
Yeah, this is where it was. Yeah, honestly, Sturdy, I was too thinking about a blow-up doll with a Christmas hat. When you said you needed inflatable, that's what I went with it. I was like, an inflatable girlfriend? An inflatable animal? Because, like, for companionship, to be like, hey, Spot, when I get home, a little Fido, like, let me get you your food and water. Ha ha ha.
We love what you got going on here, everybody. We love what you got going on. But hear me out. Yeah, I gotta tell you, and kind of shifting gears a little bit, and like everything that's going on, we've gotten a lot of news in the geek world, and I know we're going to cover that on Geeked Out Live, I'm sure, but they picked the topic, so I want to make sure we can cover what we can here as well.
Yeah, we got to get our parts in.
So it looks like Casey has been correct in his complete desertion of DC. So DC has gone so far as basically Wonder Woman 3 is not happening. Yep. Man of Steel 2 is not happening. Henry Cavill is out as Superman, although he did film a cameo for The Flash, and now they're wondering if they're going to use it or not. Black Adam 2 is not happening, and the Aquaman franchise is going away, and they're trying to get Jason Momoa to play Lobo.
Okay, well, look, when you take the entirety of Zack Snyder's universe and try to build your franchise and your team around that, there's a whole different tone you have to change and take. So I get it. I get that a lot of these are just being wiped cleaned, and they're like, nah, we just can't stay going down the same rabbit holes. It hasn't worked. And James Gunn's in charge now. So there's going to be a difference, that things are going to shift.
There are people like calling for his head, too, after all this.
Man, why? Because everything was based in a Zack Snyder world with WB executives who clearly dicked everything up. Why would you be upset and defending something that didn't work? Like, I don't get it.
It's so ridiculous. Like, listen, everything kind of being thrown out, I don't know that I 100% agree with it, but at the same time, I don't care enough. Like, you guys have made it so we don't care enough.
Yeah,
and
DC has literally shot themselves in the foot repeatedly over and over again, to the point where I don't care. I'm not interested.
Do you think James Gunn can do a good job at this point? I think the problem with James Gunn is he's attracted to the weird characters. And that's fine. Peacemaker, Lobo, things like that. Like, they're the weird characters who, they're fun. Like Deadpool, to me, once Deadpool became a star, he lost his luster a little bit. And I mean that because in the comics, Deadpool was just a guy who annoyed everybody.
Yeah. He wasn't a real star. Yeah.
He had his own issue, he had his own books. Not a lot. Like, a lot of people seem to think like he's just been running since the 90s. Like, no, his books have ended. And like, he pops up and then they do specials with him, but or he pops up a new series, but it usually goes away. Like Deadpool, like once he became like the forefront and everybody's calling for him, it's like, well, then that loses the luster of who Deadpool is. When you put him in the forefront, that's not who these guys are, and you got to change the character drastically to fit the motif of being the hero. And now, when I watch James Gunn stepping in, he did a great job with Guardians of the Galaxy. Again, they should never be a team that's in the forefront. They're the knuckleheads, and they're the want to be heroes that do save the day, but they're not Captain America. You know what I mean? Not Iron Man.
Of course,
you need those big heroes when you have those entities. So when you're not like when you're saying like Batman's probably not going to be around for a while, and you're like, you should probably stake a claim and get a Batman in there.
I'm excited to see what he's going to do.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see what he's going to look. Anything's going to be better than what we've had from a non-unified, crazy, ridiculous stories of bits and pieces of different filmmakers and everything. But I don't care. Here's the overall part about DC. I just don't give a damn. I have no interest or no stake. How about that? I have interest. Like it's kind of like the interest of like watching your neighbor from over the fence and just being like, are they really going to try to take down that tree with that handsaw? Like that kind of interest where it's like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and watch the whole thing. It's probably going to take a day. But, fair enough. That's what they're going to do. So good on them.
So now you've said it where I understand it. Because I have taken down a tree with a handsaw.
There you go.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
But that's what I had. So I had to use what was readily available to me. And my stubbornness is what allowed me to prevail. So now I get it. I get what you're saying.
But you completely understand that it requires a level of stubbornness to enjoy this crap. To just get along on board with this drivel that I just don't care about. Sure, James Gunn, it's going to be entertaining. I just want to be entertained. That's the point of going to the cinema and being a part of this, is for entertainment purposes. If it's not fun and it's not entertaining and you don't like it, then don't watch it and don't bother and get out of the way. And that's what I've done with DC. DC has made it very clear they're making products that aren't for me, and that's okay. The few that they have with Doom Patrol and Titans, they've taken away now. And I hope we get another Harley Quinn animated season. Oh man,
I think the animated series they tend to like leave alone. I don't think
they're
they have a lot of faith
good with the animated series, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have a lot more freedom because you don't have the oversight looking at you being like, this has to be like this. Because in the animated world, it's like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. And it's fantastic. And it works better. Certain characters work better. DC lives very well in a cartoon animated world. The transfer to real world has just never really worked out. Unless you're Batman, there's not much going on. Superman, I mean, Christopher Reeves had a great run. He had what, one good movie?
Christopher Reeves?
Come on.
I would argue the first two movies at least.
Okay, I'll give you 1 and 2. I was going to say 2, absolutely, but yeah, I'll give you 1.
1 was good. 1 was a good
one. 1 was good. I do like 1. The difference between good and like, but yeah. So I'll give you that. So Reeve had 2 good ones. Henry Cavill had 1. I think Henry Cavill had a great one. I think Brandon Routh was decent. Sorry,
I think Brandon Routh was fine.
Exactly, he was a good Superman. Sure.
Yeah, but that's again. I think I mean, nobody's going to be Smallville. Calm down.
I mean, that's true. Tom Welling was pretty incredible.
He did a good job, but that's because we got to spend week after week with him.
Exactly, and when you have that much time, you can do a lot more and explore a lot more, and they were able to.
That's the thing. I think Superman's the type of character. Like Batman can get a movie because Batman is an eccentric millionaire running around beating up bad guys. That's what it's simple. And a lot of people don't understand that when it comes to like Superman, he's a lot more complex, but you have to break it down and give it a long period of time for him to get there, to really tell his story. Like that's why there's always like an epic tale with Superman, they just, some people just don't know how to write him for screen for sure. We lost John, fortunately, but we'll see you Sunday night. Thanks, John.
Yes, sir.
And we gained the man.
Jeff.
Jeff is
What's up,
here.
Jeff?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, I need to actually be lost for a second if I can.
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
I'll see you in a bit. All right. So Black Adam. See, I didn't hate Black Adam, but I didn't hate Black Adam because it was better than some of the movie. Like again, it's like the bar's so low. So like, why would you hate the guy that's like finishing the race? You know what I mean? Like, you're not winning anything. You're just kind of finishing the race. So I don't hate you. Good on you. There's some jokes that made me laugh and some characters I kind of like. But yeah, I know what you mean, and I agree. James Gunn is amazing. I love James Gunn, but I just hope he's not too niche in what he likes and what he wants to present to run a studio with this many characters. I just wonder, 2 good movies. I agree. Yeah, Superman 1 and 2. And I like 3. I'll watch 3. It's hokey, campy, and crazy, but I will watch it. Tom was just Clark. Tom became Superman by the end. Okay. Yes, he was primarily Clark, but it was the journey to see him become Superman. I love that. I have to go got to get the little person ready for the daycare. All right. Sorry, Kathleen, that you're heading out, but we appreciate you stopping in. All right, guys. So let's see what's going on in the news today. There's tons of stuff. And I love that the first thing that I look up is that Bill Hader and Ali Wong dated for at least 2 months this year. Is that news? Is that where we're at in life? Is that really like what the news is? Arizona Senator Kristen Sinema leaves Dems party upending Senate majority. She's become an independent. Said she would not caucus with the Republican Party, so she is now an independent. Honestly, I kind of think that has to happen more and more. I think we need to see more go independent and break down this cycle. That's just my personal experience. Baker Mayfield was completely shocked by one part of Miracle Comeback. I don't care about the Rams. I really don't. Agony of the tweet. Twitter blacklisting proves the inmates were running the asylum, Musk says. I'm so tired of the Twitter debate. Who cares? Are you really that upset by this? Like, is this really something that you're that angry about that we have to get just so upset about Elon buying Twitter? Twitter sucked before he was there. He can let whoever he wants back on because it just means it's going to suck just the same. But you know what? Use it for what you need to use it for. Yeah, I see so many people, like everybody's on Twitter. Everyone's on Twitter. And then the people, like the celebrities making a mass exodus. Oh, well, screw Elon. The same guy that they didn't mind that was in Iron Man 2. The same guy they didn't mind putting in their movies or putting in their TV shows because it was cool soundbite when he was the cool thing. And all of a sudden, he's not the cool thing anymore. He agrees with people you don't agree with. And now he turns around and he's the villain. Mick, it's something for people to post about. Listen, all right? Shut up, Sturdy. Shut up, my black friend Sturdy. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's actively something for people to post about. People want the sexy. That's the unfortunate thing with the popularity contest that it is.
I think people use the phrase people as a blanket statement of everyone. And I think the vast majority is just kind of like, whatever. Like, I don't care.
Because it's fun fodder. It's something to get through. It's material that we are actively using right now, so it's what it's for. It's what it's meant for. We want to have opinions about people with that much money and are that crazy. Look, I said from the beginning, Elon has the potential to become a Bond villain, and I think we're seeing it. And I'm very excited about it.
I don't
which means, look, if we have a Bond villain, that means there's a Bond.
What makes that's not necessarily true, and now we're gonna have to take the mantle, and I hate you for that. Now I'm gonna have to go to some place that's foreign.
Cool, we'll go.
How messed up would that be?
We'll go to Singapore. We're safe there.
How messed up would that be? Is like the government comes to us and it's just like, we need you guys. It's like that movie
Spies Like Us,
Franco, and no, because we're not spies. We're not going. At least they were even worked for the CIA. Like, we would just be dropped in.
That's true. They were part of the actual. They were already part of it.
If our Elvis career ever happens, we're such big podcasters, and they're like, let's make movies with these guys, and it's like Abbott and Costello, not even, because Elvis. Let's just go Elvis. Like a movie.
Yeah, let's stick it. I mean, we're Viva Las Vegas all the way right here, buddy.
Yeah, and it's just like, let's make a movie where they go and they stop a Bond villain. That'll go well. That'll go real well.
Nothing bad can happen there. Casey, I bet you Elon would finance it.
Casey, I came back to my hotel, and this lady's dead, and she's got a gold skin. I don't know what to do. What do we do?
Just go in and go, sweet, let's take pictures. It's ridiculous. Is that paint? What is that?
I'm not taking pictures. I'm out. I'm only gone. I'm not going to some Russian prison, gulag.
Hey, just hold this knife over. Yeah.
No. Let's make Tropic Thunder. I'll be Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
Done.
You're the only one in this current conversation we would ever allow for that to happen in our Tropic Thunder.
Absolutely. I totally call Matthew McConaughey's character. Tugger nuts, I'm here for you, man. I got you.
I want to be Tom Cruise's character.
You should be. Character. Oh, yes. You and I could just yell at each other.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't understand. I was talking about how Kristen Cinema, the Arkansas whatever, switched. She's no longer in the Democrat, so they lost the majority. She's an independent now.
Sounds about right.
Yep. I said that we should have more politicians leaving the parties and going independent while they're in.
We need a third party. We need a third party so we can split the money, we can split the power, and we can get more potentially things done, more conversations had, and more representation of the actual American people who don't necessarily side with the big D or the big R, who are thinking for themselves, going, I like some of your thoughts, but some of the stuff is cuckoo pants. So, go Eyes. All about some independence.
Sorry, I'm reading some new news that's coming.
Breaking news?
Might be breaking. Horror fans fear for future as Shudder gets axed by AMC.
What?
Wow. It literally says that AMC is not axing Shudder. No joke. Wait. And once it's open. Oh. So I'm trying to find it. So like there was a headline that somebody said that and now it's trending. I think people are trying to find out. Really hoping everyone is okay. So right now it's up in the air. Nobody really knows, but AMC has been doing like massive layoffs.
Really?
And it may affect Shudder. Shudder hits 1 million subscribers as key part of AMC's networks targeted. There's so many different things here, but I'd hate to see Shudder go.
Yeah, man, I love Shudder. Shudder's been fantastic. One of the few that really came out, and starting at $4.99, it hit, man. It was great. As a horror guy, it's one of my favorite spots to go. So that's a bummer if they lose it.
I don't know
especially
how
Joe Bob, man.
Yeah, I don't know how they sustain themselves though, because they buy up like new movies brought in, they make movies. Like Shudder's become like a big streaming entity, but it's still $4.99 a month, whereas we see everybody else having to go up with what they're doing.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, maybe being rolled into AMC, they're just going to eat it, and it's going to become one with a major AMC house. I hope. God, I'm praying.
We'll definitely see for sure. What was some of the other news that we had? Okay, so Mike Flanagan, Mike Flanagan? He directed The Haunting of Hill House, Bly Manor, the TV series, Doctor Sleep, Midnight Mass.
Yep.
His company is developing Dark Tower into a TV series.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
I'm interested. He did just leave Netflix. He had a deal with Netflix to make shows. And he signed a deal with Prime. So I'm not quite sure where that's going to go next. But I don't think this show is attached to Prime yet, though.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
And they've named the three Black Panther, the three Avengers that are going to be in the Kang Dynasty, the next Avengers movie that are going to be leading the charge. They've only named 3 so far, not everyone. Captain America Sam Wilson, Black Panther Shuri, and Shang-Chi.
Awesome.
So that should be pretty cool.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm very excited to see that. That's an awesome crew.
And some more interesting. Again, guys, we're going to get into this a lot more in Geeked Out. But just kind of covering what's going on in the entertainment
that's what
world.
We do here on Friday mornings. We hit the news of the week and everything that's been going on.
Reese Witherspoon is developing a sequel to 1999's Election entitled Tracy Flick Can't Win.
Oh, that's great.
Is it great, though? Was that movie really that good? That it warrants
Election?
sequel?
I loved Election. I thought Election was one of the best.
I didn't love it.
It was in that group with Rushmore and that sort of like, I don't know, that pretentious, angsty, crappy teenagers. I loved it, man. It was fantastic.
And I don't mind dark comedies with despicable characters. I don't. But they're like, at least by the end, most despicable characters you're cheering for. Like that, even Bad Santa. It's like he's sort of turning a new leaf in the way that like he's changing things up. Election, nothing really changed. Like the guy was just down and out by the end. She kept going. Like I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan.
I can see that, man. I get it.
Yeah, it was one of those things kind of threw me off. Jackie Chan confirms that Rush Hour 4 is in the works. Is that you?
Are we excited about that? Yeah. I passed gas and it sounds like an ambulance. It's weird. We've got a thing.
I love that. Am I excited? No, not really. I don't care. I don't need it. Like I'm excited for Beverly Hills Cop 4. I'm not excited.
Are you really?
For Drake. Oh yeah, they're bringing everyone back. There's going to be younger people in it, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it, stuff like that. So, you're gonna get a new vibe to it. But I mean, I think that's where I'm at. Like Eddie Murphy, yeah, put him in movies. He still makes me laugh. He still cracks me up. He's still a good actor, in my opinion. Like people trash Coming to America too, but I'm like, it's a natural progression to where it went, and I actually
really enjoyed it. I think they did a great job with it. I was bummed people were upset about it. I'm like, how could you be upset about this? It's exactly what we wanted.
Yeah,
this is just the next version of it, and they're all just updated next versions of it. That's what the sequels are going to be. I don't see why people are like, oh, you're ruining the original. No, you're not. Then don't watch the new one, and you'll always have the original. It's not changing the original.
You know, and I think what works for me too is like a Beverly Hills Cop 4.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't like the ultimate toughness in police, you know, in the 80s. He was a crafty guy who lived on the streets and learned from them. He was streetwise that it helped him as a cop be able to get things done.
It was a mockery of the people who think they're better than that.
Yeah. And but even also like embracing it, like in the second one, when they come around, they're like, I mean, he's going to get this done. We know he's going to get this done, but and he figures it out. Like and that's why I like that one so much better, because you're already established. The character's already established by that point. Well, this, it's not like we have to walk in like Rush Hour 4. Like they have to fight. There has to be fight scenes in Rush Hour 4 because that's what it is. That's what it was based on.
It was the crazy action scenes. It was all the action scenes. That's what we wanted in it.
You know, he can run around and be a detective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we're fine with that. He just needs to be funny on top of it, and he can do that. Like Rush Hour 4, it's like, yeah, Jackie Chan may still be able to do it. You know, I haven't seen him in a while, so I don't know. But can Chris Tucker do it?
Yeah, I mean, one of the big funny parts about Rush Hour is the fact that it's a fish out of water story.
Yeah,
like you can't. I have difficulty with how many times can you do that. Because the first one, it makes sense because he's here in the United States, funny, haha. And then we go over to China, it's funny, haha. And then the third one, we're in France. Like, it was ridiculous. It's another fish out of water story, but in a weirder way. So where are you going to keep going with it? I understand making the sequels to just get more absurd at this point, a la Death Wish, Lethal Weapon. Sure, they keep going and growing. I'm just not as interested in Rush Hour as Beverly Hills Cop 3 put a really bad taste in my mouth, but I'll go with a 4. You know, Indiana Jones 4 sucked. It was terrible. So, but it doesn't mean I'm not excited for 5.
I would love to see. I would love to do, like, I have a whole thing about Beverly Hills Cop 3. Like, and I've written it out, extensive notes on, like, behind the scenes, what happened with that movie, where it went, why it wasn't a good. I'll be right back.
Well, that was interesting. He got freaked out by the alarm. I completely understand. That siren there will throw everyone off. So after Mick has now been abducted by aliens, unfortunately, we will get back to that riveting conversation. But I do have something I'd like to bring up, something that's been weighing on my mind, something that's been hard to really stomach and deal with. And of course, thank you always for keeping up and for dealing with our in and outs the way we deal with them. But I have something that's really close to my heart, something I want to bring up. And I know we were on a roll there. But Celine Dion, man.
I was going to bring this up later.
Yeah.
That's fine. Sorry about that, everyone. My son is home sick from school.
Oh, that's a bummer, buddy.
And my wife is taking my other son to school because he's okay. So he's laying in bed watching his favorite show. And I do want to talk about Celine Dion. We're going to go there.
Oh, we'll get to it. Don't worry. We'll get to it.
So he's laying in my bed watching TV while she's taking him to school. And I thought he was crying. So I'm like, did he just get hurt or is he sick or something? So I bolted in there and he's just laughing at a show.
Love it.
No, so yes, let's talk about Celine Dion.
We can do that. But did you have anything else you wanted to wrap up for Beverly Hills Cop or the Rush Hour conversation? No? All right, cool.
No, it's fine.
I'm going to make sure we're done with that one so that we can move on to some
pretty
terrible news. Some pretty terrible news yesterday.
Has been diagnosed with a neurological disorder that will affect her for the rest of her life. And Casey in case you don't know, is a huge, and this is not ironic. Like when I read this yesterday, I was like, oh, I wonder if Casey's okay. And my wife was like, really? I'm like, yeah. I was like, he's a huge Celine Dion fan. And she didn't believe me at first. She was like, no, he's not. And I'm like, yeah, he is. I mean, come on. And she goes, yeah, all right, I can see that. Like, because everybody's got their weird thing.
Oh, everyone's got a fan. Everyone's a fan of something that's like, really? But I think I have several.
That's true. I mean, yeah, everybody, but I mean, like, everybody's got that thing. Like, most people do not believe me when I say I'm a Reba McEntire fan.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no, and I like my level of love for Reba McEntire is on the level of Casey for Celine Dion.
Oh yeah, it's pretty high up there.
Yeah. So but I'm not that I hate country or anything. I like country. I listen to country music. I have no problem with it, but I don't know it like most people do. Like that's not what I grew up with. So to say Reba McEntire is my favorite singer, people are like, yeah, right. I'm like, no, she is. I love Reba McEntire.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as weird, I think, saying Celine Dion is your favorite because she was so like mainstream.
I mean, yes and no, because as someone who has been saying that for my entire life,
the person we're talking about,
yeah, I always get that effect. People are always like, "What are you?" It's a joke. They're like, "You can't really." And then, of course, I get outrageous about my love for the Queen Celine, and people are like, "You can't mean it." And then I play like "To Love You More" or something ridiculous, and people then know that it's real. I love this woman. Her voice is amazing. What she's done is wonderful. The music she puts out is fantastic. Ashes from Deadpool 2 is easily one of my favorite jams, especially finding out the backstory. And I don't know if I've said it before on the show, or do you know the backstory to Ashes? The Deadpool 2 song? So Ryan Reynolds, actually, Celine Dion had lost Renee, her husband.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she had lost her husband, and the kids, her babies were sick at the time, and she was really struggling, and she wasn't coming outdoors and stuff. So Ryan Reynolds actually reached out to her because he had just lost his uncle as well, who was one of the men who raised him. And he, went and talked to her, and they had a great conversation, and he convinced her to do the song Ashes for Deadpool 2, and it's a beautiful song. So yeah, a lot of really neat stories there, a lot of neat things going on, but unfortunately she has stiff person syndrome now, a neurological disorder that pulls on the muscles all over the body randomly. So eventually she will be much like ALS in its final form. She will be locked inside of her body because her muscles will no longer work because they'll just be tense and taut all the time. So it's pretty rough diagnosis, pretty bad one. Yeah, it's a bummer. As much as when I first heard that Celine was sick, I immediately got upset, of course, that I've still yet to see her in concert, and we'll probably never see her live now. So that was a bummer. But yeah, from a humanity standpoint, though, pretty awful that she's going to go through that. And wish her the best of luck, and hopefully, we can get some more scientific advancements in medicine and continue to help people with this terrible neurological disorder.
And actually, because we were talking about neurological disorders and things like that, and it brings me to a good point. And this is one of the catalysts, like when I saw yesterday, and knowing how much Casey cares about Celine Dion. I know I make a lot of jokes about like the weird things Casey likes, mostly just for the show.
Well, because it's hilarious. I make fun of myself constantly.
That's why I kept Reba a secret for so long that nobody believed me. Well, it's one of those things. The Reba thing is because it's like, all right, I can prove it right now. Casey, I really like Journey to the Center of the West.
Yes, you do.
Or Journey to the West.
Journey to the West.
No, it took for years for him to believe that I liked that movie.
Yeah, no, because we made fun of it so much. Like we had so much fun just mocking it. And it's a good movie. It is a good, enjoyable, great movie.
I love that movie.
But it was so funny. You are so dead face serious. You get that whole like, I really love it, that I'm not sure if you mean it. But it's the same thing when people are like, well, you like Celine? It's like, she's one of the greatest singers of all time. They're like, come on, you're just saying that. No, dead face. Mean it.
No, you can pull off a good dead face, but when you really love something, you're not good at bluffing it.
No, I'm not.
Like you talk about Celine and your eyes light up. Like Me, I just hold on to all dead fakes because I'm like, I don't know how people are going to feel about this, so I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm just going to say I like it, and that's it. I'm just going to move on. So, like, when I read about Celine, I was like, oh, man. But I also read about a member of the Snob Nation, and I feel like this should be brought up, see if we can help in any way. Our good buddy, AJ Zyla, who is a member of the Snob Nation. He's a great guy. He's a great dad. He's fallen on some really hard times. He has, of course, been diagnosed with diabetes and lymphoma a couple of years ago, and he's been fighting that battle for a long time. And currently, as of November, he was diagnosed also with, you see they have all the updates, multiple scoliosis. Casey, we'll talk about how I always get that wrong at the end.
Yes,
But
he's never going to get it right. Don't mind his MS. It's sclerosis. It's okay. Keep going.
So shut up. MS. So we'll talk about that. If we had old shows I could point you to, you'd be able to hear the whole conversation. But
that is fair.
We'll talk about that later. So he is and he's going through a really tough time. And
so there's a GoFundMe through Mick's page. You can find it through the Scene Snobs. I believe it's on there.
We've been sharing it out. It's
It's a little bit all over. So please help if you can, share if you can. Anything is helpful. We love AJ, one of the great members of the Snobs Nation. So, and we understand what it is to battle through stuff like that. So it's a tough one. It's a heavy one, and please help if you can. Which it's weird though, because that's AJ. That's 3 new people diagnosed with MS this year that I know.
And Chris Harris, another good, awesome Snob Nation member, has as well, and he was talking about it. And I bring it up, not to put him on blast or anything like that, but because a lot of people are suffering from it, and you're right. There's a lot of people. We're starting to see more and more people diagnosed with it, and we know it personally through a friend of ours. It's a long story, but ultimately through a friend of ours in the past, like he's suffered through it for a long time in his life, and we've seen the effects it has on people. So it is near and dear to our heart to try and help find a cure for it. I
think that'll be one of our next big fundraisers. We'll do some MS stuff. We'll do MS things.
I cannot do it during Christmas, guys, but I am thinking about doing a Casters for a Cause real soon. So Casey and I will start putting that together when we can, but I can't announce anything official yet until I know when we are able to do it.
Yeah, we've been kicking stuff around, but unfortunately we are busy folk with a lot of things going on. And we love doing the Casters for a Cause, but when we put those bad boys on, we try to do it up. So we want to make it worthwhile, make sure it's both fun, entertaining, and actually helpful to the people and the organizations we're trying to work with. So
there is there's another one I would like to make mention, and it's for our buddy Sturdy. And no, I'm not saying it the other way. It's Danae Nickens. She also has a GoFundMe if you guys want to check that out. She was just diagnosed with colon cancer. And recently had surgery, so she's kind of going through it and a lot of stuff going on, but she's trying to raise funds as well to help with that. So if you can, either one of these, please help support, people going through some tough times this Christmas. Anything you can give, or just share. Sharing is such a huge thing. So
it really is, because, just giving your time and putting it out there and putting a spotlight on it. A lot of people do the whole, I would have helped if I had known. So it's always nice to be able to get the word out there and spread the word and get it known. So the people who can help are able to. So we appreciate it. And thank you all.
And just so you guys know, Danae's, you may know her boyfriend, Chris, who is the worst damn gamer ever. He's got a really cool show to go check out and stuff like that. And he's on Sturdy's podcast quite a bit. So like that's a friend of family, the podcast fam, pod fam is, that's what we're trying to do here is help.
Hashtag love team.
Hashtag. I love that. All right. It's
so John and Sturdy got us started. So we're going
into the last hour. What I want to do is I want to start with sports, go to weather, go to traffic. So I'm going to give you guys the Betting Bros video of the week. These are their rundown of what you should place their bets on. It comes from Math aka Tim, one of the betting bros that you can watch their show live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern here on the Scene Snobs channel on YouTube. So make sure to go check that out and then place your bets for the weekend. But here's his updated rundown list. Check it out.
Hey, this is Math here, one half of Betting Bros, Math vs. Smash, with our 3 picks today for your guys' Friday morning drive. For the NFL for Week 14 on Sunday, I really like the Steelers to cover against the Ravens. I like the Browns to cover against the Bengals. And I really like, for a third pick, I like the 49ers over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just think they can the defense can take them down, and I think they can cover the spread even with a backup quarterback. And then for an extra special throw in, let's do the bad team under parlay again. So let's put an under on the Ravens because their starting quarterback's out and their offense is awful. Let's put an under on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because the 49ers are going to shut them down. And then let's put an under on the Broncos because the Broncos are horrendous. For the Broncos or the Ravens, I'd also possibly suggest putting in a no touchdown bet. Those usually go for 6-1 or 8-1. So they're just something fun to put some extra money on. And you might hit, $50-$60. So if not more, depending on whatever your unit size is. So those are the picks. We got the Steelers over the Ravens. We have the 49ers over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And we have the Browns to cover against Cincinnati. And then the unders that we talked about, and then the no touchdowns with the Broncos, the Ravens. All right. See everybody next week.
Tim, thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate it. You fantastic human, you.
I love it. And he's from Michigan. So we love people from Michigan. We know that. I want to say thanks, Sturdy. Appreciate it. He's doing okay. He's just running a fever right now, so he'll be okay. AJ is awesome. I'll do what I can to post it. And I saw it on your show last night. I appreciate you putting that out there, brother. I appreciate it. And of course, man, we're happy to help you. Okay, so you want me to do weather or you want to do traffic next?
Yeah, go ahead and hit some weather. I'm going to shoot you the traffic report there.
All right, let me pull it up. So I have decided to go with Omaha in Nebraska today.
Oh my gosh, that's so weird. I love that we picked. Okay, all right.
You picked Omaha?
No, but I was close. That was number 2.
Okay.
I went a little further north, but fire away, bro.
All right. So in Omaha on Friday, the 9th day of this beautiful month of December, looks like you're getting 38 degrees with a 6% chance of maybe precipitation, including some snow. Areas of patchy fog early, cloudy, and high in the 38s. Winds north-northwest to 5 to 10 miles per hour. At night, it's going to go down to 25 degrees. Considerable clouds this evening. 8% chance of precipitation, decrease in clouds late. Areas of patchy fog, low around 25. And the winds will be south-southeast. So they'll be coming back at you about 10 to 20 miles per hour. Sometime there. The week looks like this. Saturday, you're going to get partly cloudy with low chance of rain. Same as Sunday. It's going to be mostly sunny, though, so you might warm up a bit to 45 degrees. Gets a little bit warmer on Monday, but it will stay cloudy with a higher percentage of rain chance. We'll make sure to watch that. Maybe bring an umbrella with you to school and work that day. But on Tuesday, you are definitely getting rain, 92% chance. So make sure that you are bundled up and ready to go because it's only going to get to a high of 46. Then we're going to start seeing the weather taper off at the later part of next week into the 30s and then down into the 20s. So make sure that you keep your coats on, everybody. We want you to be safe this Christmas and healthy. That is your weather in Omaha.
Well, that sounds fantastic, Mick. I tell you, Omaha is in for some cold ones coming up, aren't they?
All right, let me pull this up for you, my kind sir. Is that north of where I was?
My friend, it is a little bit. Yes.
Are you sure?
Omaha, Nebraska is, yeah, Kansas. It goes Kansas, then Nebraska, then Oklahoma.
I feel like I need to look at a map.
And here you can find yourselves. We're going to be taking a look at the traffic on your drive-in Wichita, Kansas. That's right. Good old Wichita. So we've got you're cruising in on the 400. If you're on your way in, you're going to have a little bit of traffic on their way in before you hit 96, and then pretty much smooth sailing on the way in. 15 from Derby to Oaklawn Sunview, you're going to have a little bit of a delay in between there. 35 coming north on Hyattsville. You're wide open all the way to 135. Enjoy the trip on in. The 235 spur going around, you're going to find a bit of a delay coming in eastbound on the 400 from the west side. You've got a massive accident just past the airport. On 42, you're going to find yourself a little bit of a struggle on 230, meeting up with 235. And then north, up near Bel Air, we've got a big problem at the 235 interchange at 96 and 254. Looks like you're going to be a bit delayed there, so make sure to leave yourself enough time leaving the house. Outside of that, Wichita, that's your traffic, and we hope you enjoy your day. Good luck getting in and be safe out there.
All right, everybody. So moving into the final hour, let's get into the movies released this week.
Woo-hoo, let's see what we got. New movies.
Looks like we have Burning Patience. Mario is a young fisherman who dreams of being a poet, and this has to be like a period piece.
Oh, of course. I mean, look at the hats they're wearing in that.
Nobody wants to be a poet anymore.
Hey,
poets, rappers are the new poets.
That is totally fair. Yeah, trying to be an actual poet is ridiculous. Plus, you have to be able to grow facial hair, so I'm out.
There you go. And by becoming Pablo Neruda's postman, of course, is involved in a world of metaphors and verses. Of course it is. To achieve not only his desire of being a writer, but also to conquer Beatrice, the woman of his dreams. This is going to be on Netflix this weekend. And I'm going to tell you something right now. As a published writer on many different areas, yes, I am also published as a poet. My poem was in a book of poetry, and I'm not going to tell you which one because poetry is bullshit. No, it's not
the three bros show prose.
No, it was my own poem. Shut up. It's called The Winds of Change. Yeah, I went there.
Just like the Scorpions. Dope, bro. I love that. That's where you went with it. It's awesome.
Yeah, I do what I can.
Burning Patience does sound very exciting. I'm saying that. I'm going to listen to it.
That's all you. You're going to watch it.
All right. Let's go with Black Warrant is also coming out, which will be on video on demand and digital release. It is a semi-retired special ops assassin and a DEA agent that cross paths on separate missions to stop a cyber terrorist organization that has built a dangerous machine threatening to attack the power grid and bring catastrophe to the world. Starring Tom Berenger and Jeff Fahey.
That's an interesting... Sure. Whatever.
Yep. No, that's about right. Right. That's about the size of it.
Let's see what we got here. I know which one I want to go with because it kind of marks me as somebody who is very involved in this. It's a limited run right now. The Whale by Darren Aronofsky, starring Brendan Fraser, Sadie Sink, and more. Story involves a 600-pound man who can't leave his apartment and is estranged from his teenage daughter but wants to reconnect. And I'm hearing amazingly beautiful things about this.
Yeah, so. As did I. And of course, I heard Darren Aronofsky, and I legitimately just wanted to rewatch Black Swan.
That's the only, like, Darren Aronofsky, like, Mother, I'll never watch again. That movie was BS, and I hated it.
Yeah, Mother was a one-time watch, and I went, great, I saw this, whatever.
I can't believe I even watched it. It was so bad. And yes, Cinema Legends. I guess I just didn't get it. Whatever you say.
If only you had seen through the different layers and ideas, but clearly you're a bit beneath the story.
All right, here's a rant before we go on with the movies.
Yes.
I hate cinema fans. Like, in such a way, like the whole point of us calling this the Scene Snobs is the fact that we aren't them.
Right.
That was the whole point of this name. And I feel like that's lost sometimes on people.
Because sometimes we become them. Because the people look at us and go, how do you know so much? It's like, well, I mean, we just like what we like.
I don't think, like, I'm not going to go up to a professor at a college, right? And be like, how do you know so much? You're so pretentious. It's like, no, you know your thing. Good for you. You know? You want to go with a bunch of other people and know your thing and talk about it at a pub while you're drinking out of a tin can? Go for it. I don't care. Yeah, that happens in Princeton, by the way. So, full sale, real world education. So when I hear like pretentious snob fans talking the way they do about movies, oh, thank you, my love. My beautiful wife has brought me my Dunkin' Donuts.
Awesome. Thank you, Mayor Bear. Love you.
President of Manhattan Media Group.
That's right. El Presidente.
Yep. We have to
El
listen to
Jeferino.
So we're video store kids. We were the pretentious ones. We were the guys. Our pretentiousness is sort of the level of their pretentiousness and high fidelity.
I mean, 100%. If I'm able to sit here and wax poetical about why The Gift was a movie that will actually open your eyes to different perspectives, yeah, no, I can get pretentious with that shit. Same thing with like, I was a theater kid. So the pretentious is natural. You're a film guy. You know what I'm saying? So we are pretentious, but we're also not. That's the joy is we hate pretentious people. So being pretentious, we hate ourselves.
No, I'm not letting you have that moniker solely to yourself. I worked in the theater for 6 years. And I was an actor before I became a cinema legend.
Yes. Before you became the most well-known, largest figure, really, in your own mind. It's beautiful.
I was the fattest and great. I was the fattest thing that was also the greatest thing for film. But then, of course, Brendan Fraser had to put on a fat suit, and now we're screwed. No, I love Brendan Fraser, and the fact that he's taking this movie and he is advocating for obesity and the problems that obese people have in the healthcare system, which I saw firsthand and almost killed me because they kept misdiagnosing me because they just wanted to be like, well, it's because you're fat.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, no, there's an actual problem here. And I'm dying. Like, can you save my life? And
versus the constant, just lose weight. Just lose weight.
It took me going to like the 70th doctor and with tears in my eyes saying, this is not because I'm fat. There's something wrong. That she actually was like, I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
And she took the time to figure it out. And she wasn't even a doctor. She was a physician's assistant.
Mm-hmm.
On her way. I mean, and that's not putting her down. I'm just saying, but like she wasn't even there yet.
Well, yeah. I mean, PAs are the ones who actually like do the work.
Yeah.
Doctors are, yeah.
But I
you
saw
still
a lot
go to
of
the same
PAs
medical
over the
school, do the same of the stuff. A lot of great PAs out there. Same with nurse practitioners. That's who I'd rather have. Always one of them.
I remember one time I went into when I had the staghorn, and it was only a couple of years before when it was finally diagnosed, and it was there. And it was growing, and it was, like they even said to me, they were like, with what it's at now, this has been growing for the past 4 or 5 years and should have been seen. And the fact that they've never tested and seen. And I saw a urologist years ago before that. And I went and I did all the ultrasounds, CT scans, everything. And they told me that it's non-obstructive. So it's not blocking me from being able to go. So there's nothing we can do about it.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and then walked out. Casey, he walked out and never
Did he put his finger in your butt too, or
no? It's not. That's
it wasn't intimate. That's nice.
I've been intimate with other doctors, but that's not it.
Yeah,
get yourself checked, everybody. Don't.
Oh yeah, no, seriously, it's no joke. Get yourself checked for everything. Screening is important. Your personal health is important. So please take the time. Whether it's setting a therapist appointment, your mental health is important too, or going and getting your boobs checked or your butt checked or your balls checked, whatever it is, go get checked, people. It's important.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing, for me and hearing Brendan Fraser talk about that, which I never hear talked about by celebrities. You never hear it. He was doing an interview with Vanity Fair. It was either Vanity Fair or Variety, one of the two. And he was with Adam Sandler because they're friends. So they're like, it's one of those two celebrities interviewing each other deals. And he brought up, and they were talking about the whale, and he started talking about the healthcare system and how it treats obese people and how it works adversely to for obesity. They're not helping anyone.
Yeah.
And like hearing that as being who I am and being obese, like hit me right in the heart, and like eyes welling up, because I know that pain. Like I know, being rejected and being like, no, nothing's wrong. It's just you got to lose weight. And it's like and being scared, and then almost coming to a point where it's killing you.
Yeah.
And people just won't listen. I had to be pawned off when I finally went to my doctor and I said, I can barely stand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in pain. I was hunched over the bed.
Yeah.
Telling them I can't even straighten up. That's how much pain I'm in. You know this case. It's not new to you, but everybody else.
No, this is story time. I got you. You're good.
Yeah. So, and then he was like, just because I kept telling him this like the 5th time just that year, and it was only April that I was like telling him like, there's something. Send me to somebody else. Like there's something that needs to be figured out here. So he sent me to a urology clinic. I went and saw them. They told me it was kidney stones. And I'm like, how do kidney stones last 4 years? And why is there nothing you can do about it?
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to get a second opinion. And they sent me to another urology clinic because they didn't believe me. They thought it was my weight. And that's when I met the physician's assistant. And I was just like, basically tears. Like, I need help. Like, I feel like I'm going to die. And that's when they did it and they got it done. And thank God they did. Thank God.
Yeah, seriously. And it worked out great because now you're back. You're good.
Well,
you're alive.
They botched the surgeries, and that didn't help. But
yeah, but botched surgeries are great stories. Look at Mickey Rooney. Look at Mickey Rourke's face. It makes for a great story.
Oh, God. You pass as many stones as I did in a year, and tell me it worked out great.
No, I'm all right. Well, I mean, you're alive. That's how it worked out great. So you could have been dead. So yeah, no, it worked out great.
That's fair. That's true. It was a better outcome.
Yeah, it was.
It was a better outcome. But I will tell you, you know who doesn't have that problem?
Who's that?
Celine Dion.
Yeah, she does not. That
Rail
is not
thin.
her problem.
Rail thin, and I bet they believe her.
Yep.
In fact, she went in and she was like, I don't feel well. There's something wrong. They were like, well, you're thin, so it's probably in your head.
Well, of course. If you're
that's how it goes.
Thin, it's a mental thing. Yeah, if you're fat, it's a different kind of problem. You need to work out and stop being lazy. And if you're thin,
eat a Brussels sprout.
Well, go eat something and take care of yourself. Yeah, it's great. We love prejudice here.
But if you're thin, take these pills about it.
Yeah, this will help. It is really funny you brought up that interview between Brendan Fraser and Adam Sandler, because I too had read that and watched part of it, and it was great. I love those two, and the fact that they brought up that Adam Sandler would not do Airheads without Brendan Fraser, who at the time had only done Encino Man, and he actually stole him from Pauly Shore, because Pauly Shore was like, "No, what if we do an Encino Man too? I need him available."
Yep,
it's a pretty wild story. Pretty crazy.
And it's so crazy to me too that Airheads is like a cult classic. It didn't do well. And it's a great movie. It should go down.
Amazing. Yes.
I love that movie. In fact, I need to watch that. I need to watch that like soon.
We need a Does It Suck for a bunch of those, for a bunch of the cult classics that made it. That survived. Like
that's a movie that would pair well with Die Hard, the first Die Hard.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
You watch Die Hard and then you turn to that, and it's like the flip side of it.
We've been doing a bunch of movies at the office where we're doing Die Hard. We've got we watched Lethal Weapon, Die Hard 2. What was the other one? Just anything that Gremlins, anything that has Christmas in it has been on constantly. It's been good so far. It's been a good holiday season.
It's been my argument. A lot of people make the argument that Die Hard, if Home Alone's a Christmas movie, so is Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense. But I also maintain that so is Gremlins.
Absolutely. I mean, the story of Phoebe Cates' father's death alone is the most Christmas thing you could possibly contemplate. Yeah. Do you remember that story?
That Phoebe Cates in that movie?
Yeah.
Which one? I know a lot of stories about Phoebe Cates in that movie.
No. What the story she tells about her father and the character.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Dude, it's
Oh my
so
God.
brutal. It is so sad and brutal. And I'm sitting here watching this going, it's so Christmas. It couldn't be any less Christmas. It's the most Christmas. This woman's like literally her father dies. I'm gonna ruin it. If you've never heard this,
It's 40 years old. Shut up, everybody.
yeah, it's pretty amazing because she and how Phoebe Cates made it through this story straight faced because she crushes it. She nailed it. She made me believe the pain she was going through, finding out that her father was killed himself trying to sneak down the chimney like Santa and instead slid and broke his neck and was found like 4 months later. After Phoebe Cates and her mom thought he just ran off. And she was found by someone who was trying to clean something out of the chimney because they were like, I think that's a dead animal up there.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, and I absolutely love that. Sturdy brings up Batman Returns, which, yes, it too is. I mean, they take place literally next to the Christmas tree. You know, Max Schreck is basically a Grinch. You know, who's trying to steal the Christmas. It's great. It's perfect.
Well, here's the thing. Here's why. Here's where the argument's really going to come into fold. Here's why I don't think Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
It's more a Batman movie. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that it's Christmas that gets what's his name? John McClane there.
Oh, okay.
You know, the catalyst is Christmas. Go see your family. Go to this Christmas party. You were there. You're not just surrounded by it, but it is the thing that got you there. Then you watch something like what do you call it? Gremlins. It's the Christmas time. It's the gift giving. It was a gift that his father was giving to him for Christmas. The Christmas was the catalyst for this. You know, Home Alone. It's Christmas. It's the catalyst for something like they're going to spend Christmas in France. They're robbing people because they know it's Christmas time. You know, and there's not going to be a lot of people there. So, like, it's the source of the story. Batman Returns. You can watch it during Christmas and make it. It's the same reason I would argue that you could say the same thing about It's Wonderful Life. Christmas is not the catalyst for that movie. That movie, only a very small percentage of it takes place during Christmas.
Yeah, It's a Wonderful Life is about that selfish guy who's the whole movie's about him and like what it would be like if he wasn't there. Oh, I'm so important.
I maintain that it's a good Christmas movie because it became a Christmas movie. It became one of those things you only watch at Christmas. And there's a mix that how do you make a Christmas movie? And like Hallmark, they're all Christmas movies because they're making them specifically for that. And there's a lot of movies that do that.
Truth.
It's Wonderful Life doesn't fall into that because It's Wonderful Life became a Christmas movie because it was free to show and it had Christmas in it. So it's tradition that makes that a Christmas movie. Now, can Batman Returns fall into that same tradition? Sure. If you watch it and you push it long enough, absolutely. There is Christmas in it. It works. But it is not the catalyst for everything that's happening there. Like Christmas isn't what's pulling Batman into fighting bad guys. And, you know,
it's you're right. Batman is definitely much more of a family movie. You know, it isolates on the fact that this one guy has to basically, after being orphaned, has to find his own family and create that family, those bonds. And then another one who gets orphaned, who then has to find his own family bonds. And it's about two.
How do you orphan somebody who's 27 years old? How do you orphan somebody who has
this is Batman
AARP?
Returns. Batman Returns. This is not Batman Forever. Calm down. Pump your brakes.
All right.
Batman Return is absolutely the story of two different people who are affected by the same thing and the different routes they took. And at Christmas time, we get to see what the years have done to them and how they've changed through the years and what Christmas means to them. So I think Batman Returns is very much a Christmas movie.
Okay. I respect that. Again, like it's not like I'm Mr. Curmudgeon saying like
No, I don't. No, I don't believe so. This is just fun back and forth.
Oh no, not you, but there are people who are like that. You know, the same with Die Hard. Like if you think Die Hard's a Christmas movie and you say that, like is Die Hard only a Christmas movie? I can watch it all year round. I love that movie.
Nah, of course.
And just because you say it's a Christmas movie or you claimed it as such, does not mean that you can't watch it whenever you want.
That's like saying you can only watch Jumanji at Easter. You can watch it any time of year.
Is that an Easter movie?
Sure it is.
I'll take your word for it.
Guy comes back from the dead around 33. Yeah, pretty sure.
Okay, that's fair. I get that. Looks like he's 45, but whatever.
Saves a bunch of people and then disappears again. Absolutely,
dude. I love Christmas movies. I really do. And as we go on and we're watching them and things like that, like I watched How the Grinch Stole Christmas yesterday, the Ron Howard movie.
Oh, it's a great one.
As much as I love the original cartoon with Boris Karloff, I think Ron Howard's is my favorite.
I'll agree with that. I will always watch the original, but it doesn't mean that I don't love something more than that. The original just has a special place, and I want to hear that song. But Jim Carrey's performance was absolutely phenomenal. And the world that Ron Howard built was so freaking great. The Whoville, I was in Whoville. Like, you get to be a part of Whoville. It was wonderful.
You know what? You want to hear something really cool?
Yes.
So I was watching it yesterday with Jack because he was sick, so I just put it on, and he was so into it. And I love how into Christmas he is right now. Because he's 6 now. Like I felt like every other year was like kind of following suit of his brother's excitement. But this is the first year it's like he's running around looking for the elf on his own, like the elf on the shelf. What's he doing every day? And where he's getting ready for Santa, he's doing all the things he can. You know, so it's just that age thing. And he's starting to watch movies where he's just like, this is so good and funny, or blah, blah, blah. And like that was one of them yesterday. We watched it and he was so into it. And I'm sitting there and watching with him. And then, of course, the mayor comes out, the mayor's assistant. And I pause it on the mayor's assistant. And I go, you want to see something cool? And he goes, what? And I showed him a picture of you and I standing next to Clint Howard after we interviewed him.
Yeah.
And I go, we met him. You know, we interviewed him. And this is, I think, the first time he went, really? You met him? You met him? He's in this movie. And I'm like, and in my head, I'm like, he's in lots of movies, but
yeah, tons.
But I'm like, yeah, we met him, and that was like the first time. Like, now it clicked. Like, oh, Daddy meets famous people sometimes, you know, through this and stuff like that. And I was like, it felt like a pretty cool little badge of honor.
Oh, it does feel, yeah. No, when River first recognized someone that I actually interviewed, she was like, "Whoa, cool." Then, of course, I'm espousing about like Brian Krause, and she's like, "Whatever." She's just
I know, right? It's like, do you want to hear this other celebrity that I met, Tom Savini? And he's just like, no.
Yeah, I have no interest in that. That's not in front of me right now, so no.
Because then it becomes a barrage of questions.
Yep.
Of, well, did you meet this person? And it's in some random cartoon that they're watching. I'm like, no, I've never met that talking alligator before.
Oh my God. River did the same thing. No, man, it was so great when she's like, yeah, but did you meet Spider-Gwen? I'm like, it's not a human. But
your stories still will not work until they're older, because we were watching the Santa Clauses, the continuation on the Tim Allen movies, and they show him. Now they know him from like Last Man Standing, because I watched that, and you know, a few other things.
Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah, Tommy definitely has watched Galaxy Quest. We've seen that. So they know him from that. And now I've met Tim Allen in person when I lived out in Los Angeles. I met him at a Subway. Never got a picture with him. I just, you know, I'm a fan of yours, blah, blah, blah.
You just hung out and you guys ate fresh. I get it.
We did not hang out. So I want that to prove. We were in line at a Subway and he was standing behind me.
And he made a joke about the lemonade. And then after that, you guys talked for 4 hours and became friends.
Yeah, I know. I summer at his house every winter.
It was great. In the Hamptons, it was a delight.
Yeah. He lets me drive all of his classic cars. So, no,
just watch out, because there's one with cocaine in it. Which one? You'll never know.
Leave the man alone. He was arrested a long time ago. It's fine. 70s. Everybody was arrested. Bill Murray was arrested too.
That was a good stop.
I probably could have just stopped on Bill and like let you guys decide which one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Is
there's lots of
Gates
Bills
arrested
out there. Yeah.
So
little did you know.
So when I watched that show, and I'm like, I've met him before
Mm-hmm.
when I lived in Los Angeles, and I start telling the story. But if there's no picture, they don't care.
Right. Exactly.
They're like, oh, cool, and that's it. That's as far as you're getting. They're like, oh, cool. Unless you show it.
Yeah, you have to have the proof there for them to go, whoa, neato. But yeah, if you don't, it doesn't matter. It's not real.
I had that. Tommy gets pretty excited when we have guests on, and we talk to some celebrities. He's like, that's pretty cool. But if he doesn't really know him well, like Will Wheaton, he thought because he's watched TNG before.
Yeah.
And a few others, he was like, oh, that's really cool. I think that moment came from him when we were driving to school one day, and then the traffic report came on.
Mm-hmm.
And we're listening to it, and I'm like, you hear this? And they're like, yeah. It was like that, and it was Allie Oakley because she's in this area. Mm-hmm. And I was like, that's what I do. I was like, this is I've met her, I work with her. I was like, that's what I do though when I do the traffic. And for him, he was like, really? Oh, that's all? I didn't know that. And I'm like, yeah. I don't do that anymore. But yeah, for that, even that brief period, he was like, that's really cool. Like, I didn't know that was you. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I do it for different parts though. I was like, you'll never hear me until they let me come into Winchester. When Allie Oakley takes a day off, then you'll hear me.
Then you'll know.
Yeah. But yeah, those little things are always a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I think they're more excited. I mean, they're all in the video games. I think
that's the thing, man. Kids and video games. Like, I mean, that's what I was into. I still love my video games, but yeah, absolutely. If it doesn't relate to video games in some way, or really anything they can see visually, they don't care.
No,
it's great. I love children. They're amazing for that. They're so brutally honest. It's one of my favorite things is kids will just tell you if you have a booger in your nose, what's wrong with it? What happened to such a polite society? You can't look at someone else and go, hey, bat in the cave. Like, let's look out for each other.
Hey, zipper's down,
Exactly. Why can't you say that? I literally walked around 3 days ago with my zipper down probably all day. Like, there was a very good chance that puppy was just never taken up for the first 6 hours of my day.
Hey, it's cheaper than air conditioning.
Oh, let me tell you what. I felt a fantastic breeze, but it was also a bit chilly. So
that's fair.
But yeah, I mean, what happened to that? Like, just call the shit out. Be there to help others. I would be more upset if someone didn't tell me about something, and then I walk around looking like an idiot because no one could just say, "Hey, you got something on your face." What is? I don't get it. We're at $90 now, by the way. You're welcome.
It's gonna have to go to MS Research, I guess. Let's do our part. Everybody do their part. So Trevor Noah had his last episode of Daily Show last night.
Oh yeah, December 8th. That was yesterday. Yep. Wow.
So and it came by relatively quick because he announced it last month.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was just out. He was like, no, he just didn't want to do it. And I get it. Listen, I don't fault him. I think a lot of people were stirring about him a bit, because it's easy to do. But I get it. Like, and I'm glad he didn't make this whole barrage of it. Like Jon Stewart, when he left, it was like a year of almost like a countdown. And I got that because he did it for so long.
I mean, he changed it.
Yeah.
The reason I'm going to give Jon Stewart that 100% is because the Daily Show was something different when he took it over, and what it became under him, what he did for other people's careers, how huge and hilarious it was. He earned that. He gets all the fanfare in the world to leave. Trevor Noah has done a great job. And I think it's been, 6 or 7 years now? And he's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed Trevor Noah. I think he's back to that moniker of let's start just doing the handoff. He's back to that. Jon Stewart created a new thing. Trevor Noah's not going to reinvent it. They did great during COVID. I mean, fantastic during COVID. But time to move on. Good luck to him.
And I don't blame him. I the only thing I would say is at least Jon Stewart left his successor. Yeah, he named Trevor Noah. I don't know who actually picked him, if it was Jon Stewart or not, but he did at least name his successor. This, I don't know, and because there's so many jobs at stake, for a show, like, what are you going to do, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they find somebody fairly fast that's just, can handle it just as good. Casey, I just fell at work laughing at Back in the Cave. Never heard of that one before. That's priceless. I'm crying in pain. But it's well worth the sciatic back pain and laughter. Oh my God.
It's true, man. Just give a little holler. So, to make sure, you don't go digging for gold after someone says it, though. You don't need to like get, four knuckles deep trying to reach the brain.
Deep. I will say this, Taylor Swift is being tapped to direct a movie for Fox Searchlight Pictures. This will be her first feature film. She has directed before. She directed her video All Too Well.
Oh, okay. All right.
And she's been producing.
Right.
So that's pretty interesting stuff.
I mean, she's been surrounded by that, and I'm sure she just has connections to some of the smartest people in the biz. So I'm very excited to see what she'll put together. Did they mention what she's going to be working with, a project she's associated with?
No, but I'm sure it's going to be something ridiculous. It's going to be something lovey-dovey, I'm sure.
What?
Like, are you going to hand her a sweeping epic? Is she David Lean now? Like, no, it's going to be.
You hand her something where it's a sweeping epic love story where someone inevitably is going to turn on the other person, and then it becomes a revenge tale.
Listen, you're not a cinema legend. Not yet. We're working on.
No, I know.
That's got to be the most pretentious thing you can say. It's like, you're not one. You'll get there.
You could potentially. You have the ability.
Kid. Stick with it. You got potential. FSF podcast, 2 knuckles deep and sufficient to examine the claim of a bear in the cave.
Ooh, bear in the cave would be more dangerous.
Bear in the cave would be pretty crazy.
I would be afraid of having bears in the cave because then my nose just fall off because Mick's around. And he's got the ability to kill bears with his death aura. So
taking that bear out one bear at a time.
It's like a Russian it's a nesting doll of bears. Smash. Pull out the next one. Smash. How Mick handles nesting dolls.
You're gonna drop on me, huh? I'm gonna get higher and then climb the tree a little bit higher and drop on them.
Yeah, be careful of them drop bears, man. You don't want to mess with that.
Drop bears. Screw those drop bears.
Are terrifying. Have you ever seen the picture of the koala in the garage? Someone took with their there's a koala in the garage sitting on top of a Land Rover, and they took a picture with like a night camera, and it looks like a freaking demon sitting on the damn thing. It's like, nope, no. Don't need to go there. Although I still want to go to Australia. I don't care. I want to do that. Like that's a must happen.
I can't.
I'm bringing you with me on my phone. I'm just gonna have you wandering around and be like, hi everybody. This is my friend Mick.
Oh my God. Could you imagine? He's afraid to come here.
He's terrified of everything here. Can you convince him that it's nice? Oh, what a great way to go talk to everyone. What an awesome intro line. I can talk to anyone.
Yes. And as you should, because you'll meet a wife like 5 seconds into being in Australia.
Oh, guaranteed.
Because they'll look at you
I'm
and
a
they'll
full-on
be like,
novelty. I'm a novelty, and also everyone in Australia is tougher than me. So they'll automatically be like, oh, he's a pushover. I can use him. And I'll be like, yes.
I'll go with you to Sweden.
Bro, then let's go to what are we doing? Let's go to Sweden right now. Right today.
I feel like Sweden would be safe.
Safe for what, though?
I don't know. Anything, trolls.
Have you seen Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
All right, then I'm staying home. You just unconvinced me. You've unconvinced me to go anywhere. Thanks. I was like, hey, you know what? I'll go. And then you were like all excited. And then you were like, I'm going to name one thing that he'd be terrified of. Yeah. Well, I guess the guys in that were all right.
Yeah.
Right? Because, well, no. The guys who got killed were like all rapist assholes.
Yeah, sure.
So I just, again, don't do that.
Yeah, no, that's
there will be no revenge tale.
That's a good way to avoid, general death and being a jerk, and just don't rape.
Yeah, I mean, just don't do that in general because it's horrific. But
yeah,
but on top of that, if you're worried about revenge plots against you, don't do things to get revenge plots against you.
There you go. That sounds pretty solid. Seems
main
logical.
focus.
Seems logical. It
Listen,
could work.
lots of things seem logical to me that do not seem logical to other people, and I'm right. Like Batman Returns.
Hey, 20% of the time, I'm right every time.
Makes no sense. No, but it's it's something like that. Like I can I don't know, maybe Sweden. Did you see the World Cup when Sweden played Denmark?
No.
And now it's set, they take the 3 letters from, and it was SWE, and then on Denmark it was DEN, and they're like,
God,
just spells out Sweden.
Yeah.
But they said if you take out the letters that they left off of each, it spells out Denmark.
Oh, nice. That's fun. That's fun. Sweden, Denmark. Okay.
There's a Drop Bear short film I gotta watch. I don't doubt that. They made Cocaine Bear, which is coming.
Super excited for Cocaine Bear.
I feel like porn and horror go hand in hand with whatever's out there. Like
1000%.
Like that rule, I think it was Rule 34. Like if it can be made into a porn, it will be made into a porn, or has been.
Absolutely, already has.
And that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. But with horror, it's sort of the same thing. Maybe if it has scared or sounded scary at some point, somebody's made a horror movie about it.
Absolutely. I mean, Hobo with a Shotgun exists.
Yeah, that's true. Porn and horror, I agree.
I mean that's pretty much that's life's greatest things right there. And what makes a great horror movie? Boobs. Having eventually someone dead or some horny teenagers doing it. I mean, it's I don't know. It's like when you go to get a soda and a popcorn and go into the theater. That's the same thing. That's what porn and horror is. I think they're simple pleasures that are wonderfully enjoyable, and you can do anything with them. I mean, sodas. True. You can have any flavored soda. You can have pickle flavored soda, for crying out loud. What do you want with your popcorn? Well, just throw some of this magic dust on it, and we'll have all sorts of different flavors. Or this miracle butter we're going to call butter. We don't know what it is. It's an oil substance that comes out of this bag, and it's hot. Good luck. It's delicious. Love it.
I went to, not too long ago, I went to what was it, Alamo, and I ordered popcorn, and I got like the urban Parmesan spice added to it or whatever. It's great. Don't get me wrong. The popcorn is amazing. Mm-hmm. They make great food there. I got to give it to our local Alamo. I really love it. But like I got down through it and I ate the popcorn, which was really greasy because of all the butter and such. Mm-hmm. And I got down the end, and there's a pool of butter at the bottom, and I'm like, I can't do, like, that's too much. I was like, you can't make a pool in this thing.
It's too many.
It's too much. You can't do it. Yeah, we're kind of winding down here. Oh, guys, anybody, just while I remember it, if you are interested in receiving our Christmas card, Scene Snobs Christmas card, please message us. Let us know. You can email us at thescenesnobs@gmail.com or reach out to us on any of our social media and, send us your address, and we'll make sure that you get one.
You absolutely want that fantastic card to really cheer up and bring in the holidays the right way. The Scene Snobs way is the right way. Thank you, Snobs Nation. We never actually finished our movie releases. We only got 2 in.
You go ahead.
All right. I've got a limited and Shudder release called Christmas Bloody Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, and fiery record store owner Tori Toombs just wants to get drunk and party until the robotic Santa Claus at a nearby toy store goes haywire and makes her night more than a little complicated.
You do this, I'll be right back.
All right. Santa Claus begins a rampant killing spree through the neon-drenched snowscape against a backdrop of drugs, sex, metal, and violence, ultimately forcing Tori into a blood-spattered battle for survival against the ruthless heavy metal Saint Nick himself. Wow, that sounds amazing. Check it out on Shudder. Let's see, what else do we have here? Detective Knight Redemption. Okay, so it's Detective Knight, but the Knight is a K. So, like Medieval Night. It's pretty rad and ridiculous because it reminds me of Forever Night. And if you all aren't familiar with Forever Night, it was an old sci-fi show where there was a vampire detective which also had its night with a K. God, I hate these. And it's starring Bruce Willis, so this is already going to be terrible. But coming out on limited release, video on demand, and digital release, Detective Knight Redemption. Bruce Willis stars as Detective James Knight in this second film of the action-packed trilogy. In custody in New York, Knight finds himself in the middle of a jailbreak led by the Christmas bomber, a brutal fanatic whose Santa Claus disciples are terrorizing the city. With the promised return of his badge in exchange for taking out the terrorists, the steely-eyed Knight doles out mercy for the just and merciless justice for all the rest. Well, that sounds insanely amazing. Everyone should go check that one out. Oh, let's see what else we have here. We have Emancipation, the movie, the Will Smith movie, which has not been getting great reviews. It'd be interesting to see what the final product looks like. I'm excited to check it out. Antoine Fuqua. So I'll check out what he's got. I'm a big fan of his. Let's see. We've got Father Stu Reborn. Huh. There's a limited release, which is actually the Father Stu movie with Mark Wahlberg, which I believe can be found on Netflix, which is based on a true story. Father Stu is an unflinchingly honest, funny, and ultimately uplifting drama about a lost soul who finds his purpose in a most unexpected place. When an injury ends his amateur boxing career, Stuart Long moves to LA, dreaming of stardom. While scraping by as a supermarket clerk, he meets Carmen, a Catholic Sunday school teacher who seems immune to his bad boy charm. Determined to win her over, the longtime agnostic starts going to church to impress her. But surviving a terrible motorcycle accident leaves him wondering if he can use his second chance to help others find their way, leading to the surprising realization that he is meant to be a Catholic priest. Stu pursues his vocation with courage and compassion, inspiring not only those closest to him, but countless others along the way. Starring Mark Wahlberg, yeah, he's good. He's fine. He just screwed up Uncharted, but that's a personal thing. He's a good actor. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Ooh, Pinocchio is out on Netflix now, the Guillermo del Toro version. So a dark, twisted retelling of the famous Carlo Collodi fairy tale about the wooden puppet who dreams of becoming a real boy. When Pinocchio comes to life, he turns out not to be that nice of a boy, creating mischief and playing mean tricks. He eventually learns a few lessons. Starring John Turturro, Ewan McGregor, Christoph Waltz, Ron Perlman, Tim Blake Nelson, David Bradley, and Cate Blanchett. So that's going to be amazing. And who doesn't love Guillermo del Toro? Just as a head up, though, if it's a Guillermo del Toro movie and his version of Pinocchio, he's killing a child. A child will die in this movie. So just be aware. That's going to be on Netflix and sounds like the weird, twisted version of The Good Son. So we're going to see how that one comes out. Let's see. And Idina Menzel special is out now on Disney Plus. So, I mean, I guess check that out. Could be fun. It's a Wonderful Binge. This sounds fun. All right. So currently on Hulu, It's a Wonderful Binge. All drugs and alcohol are illegal except on the day of the binge. Several years after their first binge, best friends Hags, Andrew, Sarah, and Kimmy face the realities of young adulthood as the annual binge days move to Christmas Eve. Amidst the chaos, Hags plans a proposal to Sarah while Andrew deals with his rocky relationships with his family and his girlfriend, Kimmy. Will they survive this holiday season? Okay, so if we're going to do a little twist on the purge, It's a Wonderful Binge, I'm all right. I'm interested in that. We'll see what they're going to do with it. They can absolutely do anything with this, and that's the beauty. Once again, as we have been discussing, and Sturdy brings up a great point. That one of the best parts about horror is the fact that you can change it and go in any direction with this genre. So It's a Wonderful Binge. Why not? Take the purge, slap it in Christmas, and get ready for some murdering and mayhem. Sounds fantastic. Let's see. Oh, what? There's a new Night at the Museum. Common Ra rises again on Disney Plus. And this is really short. The plot follows Larry's son, Nick, who is hesitant to follow on his father's footsteps as a night watchman. And Zachary Levi's in this one. Thomas Lennon, Sean Levy, Matt Danner, Joseph Kamal, Ahmal Salah, Joshua Bassett, Jamie Dimitro, And I do not see a Ben Stiller in this one. So this is the first night of the museum without Ben Stiller. Should be interesting. Let's see what else is out here. Repeater? It doesn't really look like there's a whole lot going on. Oh, okay. This is terrible. This is Something from Tiffany's, which is a Prime Amazon show that's coming out. And I'm very excited about this one. So I watched the actual trailer for this movie, Something from Tiffany's, and it's ridiculous because there's nothing like the love stories that happen between two people who are in relationships when the movie starts. So that's always fun because then I feel like it gives credence to like, you can cheat. It's fine. It's fine. Emotional cheating doesn't count. It's fine. So Something from Tiffany's. Nothing compares to the magic and excitement of the holidays in New York City, where the streets blaze with lights, windows dazzle, and a special box from Tiffany could change the course of a person's life, or several lives. Rachel and Gary, Zoe Deutsch, and Ray Nicholson are happy enough, but not quite ready for that big commitment. Ethan and Vanessa, Kendrick Smith Sampson, and Shay Mitchell, the perfect picture, are just about to make it official. When a simple mix-up of gifts causes all their paths to cross, it sets off a series of twists and unexpected discoveries that lead them to where they're truly meant to be. Because love, like life, is full of surprises in the holiday romance, Something from Tiffany's. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm always a fan of the movies where it's like, oh, I should definitely believe in love when someone could just like find someone else. Cool. So check that out on Amazon. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so here's one for you. So there's a Conan the Barbarian is doing a re-release, one day only, where they have these every once in a while. Fandango does them. I can't remember the Fathom events. So Fathom events, if you're familiar, they will do one-day shows where they'll put on operas, so you can go and actually experience that in the theater, which is pretty neat. Highly recommend that. They have Conan the Barbarian coming out again as a one-day release. I don't know that I necessarily need to see Conan the Barbarian on the big screen. It's not exactly something I'm chomping at the bit, but I am curious, and I do want to throw this out to y'all. What is a movie that you're interested in seeing again that you didn't get a chance to see on the big screen the first time? For me, one of those that really got me that I love to see for my entire life, I've always been a fan of Halloween, the original, the 78 Carpenter classic. And to be able to see what they did on the big screen really was life-changing for me. It was special to be able to see that. And that was only a couple years ago. It was fantastic to be able to see that, to really see what Carpenter wanted to portray, what they want you to see, what the directors want you to see on the big screen. There's a point of using film the way they did, of creating the widescreen the way they did. It's for the theater. It's for what you see. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. And to experience that is great. I don't know that I need to experience Conan the Barbarian. I don't know that I need that on the big screen. Maybe I do. Maybe it's something in my life I'm not aware of that it will change me as a person. But I'm not really looking forward to that one. One of the other ones that I did see, which was fantastic, was the Army of Darkness. Now that's one. Always been one of my all-time favorites, and that was great to see on the big screen. That was probably a number one. So these limited releases, when they come through and they do these one days, they're great to see. So it's always interesting, and I'm curious to what you all think. Sturdy fired away that he got to see Jaws and Nightmare on Elm Street. Got to see those on the big screen. Those would be great. Like, those would be fantastic. Jaws especially, because Jaws was done in a way where I want that Spielberg on big screen. I feel like getting Spielberg on big screen, it's meant for that. Or seeing, a John Ford film that way. Where you get your big sweeping epics. It would be fantastic. That's great. I don't necessarily need a Rob Reiner re-release on the big screen. Not something I don't need to When Harry Met Sally. That's not going to entice me to come back. And I agree. Sturdy brings up Friday the 13th. Really, any of the classics. To see the classics on the big screen would be great. I don't know that Conan the Barbarian is one of those for me. But now that I immediately think about it, I know a friend who would absolutely love that. And I'm very excited now to bring that up to him. So I think that would be fantastic. I think seeing it on the big screen for movies you love, like I would love to see Alien on the big screen. I think Alien on the big screen would be awesome. Probably terrifying too, more than likely. So I'm very excited to check that out. Oh man, Batman and Batman Returns would be great. I remember being in the movie theater and not being able to go see Batman Returns because I just wasn't old enough. Yeah, that was pre-13. So that didn't work out for me. Well, this is a kind of a light release week. There's not a whole lot going on. I think most of the focus is going to be on your Christmas movies. So
I
you're
am
not
so
going to have
sorry.
much else to check out. Oh, you're fine, brother. No, we had a good time. Managed to just go through some other movie releases, and I brought up which movies you'd like to see because Conan the Barbarian is coming out again. They're doing a 1 day, which I'm excited for. You know, I mean, it's
Love it.
cool, but which ones, like, after having seen, for me personally, having seen Halloween and Army of Darkness now on the big screen, that meant so much. What's one of the movies you'd like to see on the big screen that's a re-release? Something that you have never had that opportunity?
I've seen a lot of stuff that I love on the big screen.
Would Ghostbusters be one of them?
Yeah, I've seen that a few times. Okay, let me ask you this. Are you asking what movie would I like to see on the big screen in its time?
No.
Or now?
Now. Something that you love and covet and you would like to see, you know, like Time Bandits or something random like that. You would know. I know you love it.
I don't hate Time Bandits. I like it, but
That's fair.
No. That's
the Void.
The who?
The Void.
The Void on the big screen? No, I don't need to see
Why not? Phantasm.
No. There's not a lot of horror movies that I need to see on the big screen. Like, they're fine for me at home, and I've seen a lot of like Sturdy says, love to see the Friday 13th on the big screen. I've seen probably all of them now on the big screen because I saw Jason versus Freddy on the big screen, Jason X on the big screen, the reboot of Jason on the big screen when they were new.
Right. Yeah.
Everything else I was too young for. But I have seen them all on the big screen because there was a point where local movie theaters would show them on Friday the 13th, especially around us with the horror group here. So I've seen a lot of them through that, but I don't need to see any horror movies on the big screen. I don't think.
That's fair.
I've seen The Thing a few times, and I liked that, and I was glad that I got to do it. Halloween's, see most of those on the big screen.
We got to see Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, but even
That
then,
was a
like,
big
that's
one.
another one that I probably wouldn't need on the big screen, you know?
That's fair. I needed it. I needed
That's
Jack
good.
Burton on the big screen. I needed that.
Oh, I was happy to go see it. Yeah, we went and saw it together. And like the Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, double feature we went to. Again, not ones. I mean, Army of Darkness maybe more so because it is more epic on the scale. But yeah, overall, I don't think I need too much on the big screen. Like, I would need the ones that like really give you the full effect of the big screen.
The ones that were made for it, the ones that were purposely built for it. Like I mentioned, like the John Ford movies, Lawrence of Arabia. Give me my big sweeping, like seeing Braveheart. Honestly, would be pretty rad on the big screen.
Yeah, I Braveheart on the big screen, yes. Yeah, something like that. I saw The Patriot on the big screen. That was a good one.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What about Shawshank? Do you think the Shawshank Redemption would be a big screener?
I like that I like that I just pop it on here and I can watch it. It's so good.
In my mind, that movie only exists on VHS. It will never have another form. It's VHS or it's on AMC randomly. That's it. That's where it always is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I overall like if it's big, like John Ford movie on a big screen, it depends on which one, but yeah. I remember somebody, we were talking about it years and years ago. Oh, I'd love to see a John Ford epic on the big screen. And they were talking about Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. So I was like, that was the one he didn't show sweeping landscapes on a bet.
Yep.
I'm like, come on, idiots. Listen to
you telling me that bet story is always hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know, stuff like that. It's just, I would watch Conan on a big screen because it's a big sweeping movie and there's so many big things to it.
You're right. Now that I think about it, Although personally, not the first one. I would much rather Conan the Destroyer on the big screen because
Oh God, no! Conan the Destroyer sucks. That's a sequel.
I love that one.
Oh,
or Red
God.
Sonja. Give me Red Sonja all day. I
Red Sonja is better than Conan the Destroyer.
Oh yeah, substantially.
But even then, those are all movies I saw on TV as a kid. All right, so talking about these movies and stuff like that, and kind of getting into them and what works, what doesn't work. One thing I do like that the local Alamo does is movies that maybe you wouldn't want to go see on the big screen, they make events.
Yes.
Like they do a lot of rom-coms, things like that, but they're like, have brunch with us, get a mimosa, have a brunch, watch this rom-com with other people who like this movie. And I think that's perfect marketing for it. Like, no, you're not going to get me out to go see Steel Magnolias on the big screen. But if I'm having a brunch and my wife wants to go and it's a little date day or something, like that I would go to that.
Or doing Goonies doing the serial Saturdays, I believe is what they call them. Like that's great. Doing those kinds of movies is fantastic for events. Events are a thing, and I want it to be an event. I think, and I'm with you on that. I'd go hang out for Conan the Barbarian if they were doing some weird, crazy barbecue.
We should make each a list of our top 10 movies we think that you should see on the big screen.
Actually, that's a really good idea. And we will have that list. Let's have that list for next week.
No. I want to do this on like a TikTok sort of basis. Have like a day by day.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
We'll put together your list and let's do it that way. And we'll save it for after Christmas and we'll go about that.
Yeah, that's going to make more sense because I've got some more Christmas stuff. My 12 days kicks off.
So, yeah, guys, we're kind of winding down, and I left poor Casey to hold the bag for probably far too much now. So let's.
No, it's been great.
Start getting it going. Just before you guys just kind of go over everything again, if you want the Christmas card, please email us at thescenesnobs@gmail.com or message us and we'll send you a Christmas card. Make sure you include your address. Sunday night, we have a brand new show. It's no longer Geek Fest Live. It's Geeked Out Live. The audience picks the topics in the comments. Tell us what you want to talk about while we're watching it, and we'll go from there. We did part 1 this week on the Scene Snobs podcast of our 2022 exit interviews where Casey interviewed me. And then the next one on next Tuesday, which will be live at 9 p.m., you can watch me interview Casey. And then we will have our Christmas episode the week after that. Of course, make sure to check back every Friday morning from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern. The Scene Snobs presents SnobNation Morning Drive Live Show. That's what you're watching right now, and we appreciate you for it. Make sure every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. you are watching Betting Bros, Math vs. Smash, and getting your bets in because it is so important. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and talking along and being a part of the show. And we want to thank our Patreons who help us keep the lights on and support us in so many ways. Tim, Paul, Stacy, Matt, Aaron, Chris S., Chris H.,
George G3, Dan, John B, Ron, Jason, AJ, Dale, and John W. We appreciate you guys. There are 3 tiers available over at our patreon.com, so check it out.
And a lot of things will be changing, so keep an eye on that too.
And then join us over the SnobNation Discord, where we continue on conversation. We rile up some rather enthusiastic discourse and have an absolute blast interacting as the small, crazy, dysfunctional family we are. So join us over the SnobNation Discord.
That's right. Make sure to hit like and subscribe on the channel here. It really helps us go a long way. We've just reached 1,200 subscribers, and we appreciate you guys, and we're growing every day. We have lots of great shows. We have lots of great content that's still to come, special events, live events, stuff like that. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. And guys, I do want to let you know that the promo code thanks for merch at snobsmerch.com is still live until the 15th. So you can get your stuff, but I would get your orders in now if you want it in time for Christmas.
And make sure to check us out on all of our social media platforms. You can find us at the Scene Snobs or find Casey over at Plotimus21, at Casey the Madman, or at Twit-Eye Night over at Twitter.
Guys, we really love and we appreciate you. You guys are all amazing. Friday mornings are always so much fun for us. We got to get going. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will talk to you next week.
Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other, y'all.